Okay, right. Welcome, everyone, to session 12 of... I am actually going to turn the music down for myself. Session 12 of the Axis Adventures main campaign. We think we fixed all the bugs that we had last week, and we'll dive in with a plot summary of what happened previously and pick up on the fallout from that. I don't know what's happening. Okay, thank you, Angus. It's more disruptive for me to have to swap tabs than than if you would have just gone, audio's fine. Because I cannot compute today. So, summarizing previous session, my notes that I lovingly wrote out seem to have not moved across on my OneDrive, so we will paraphrase and summarize the summaries. So, the party at the beginning of last session found themselves pursuing one of the shadow demons that had caused them quite a bit of trouble the session before, doing some serious, thankfully short-term harm to Jacob. As they went into the sewer and looked around in the dark, they were confronted by, I think, 3 more of the shadows, and were able to, using their new knowledge of what these creatures were and how they fought, as well as some nifty items that they had gained from the deacon, specifically a magical liquid that they have named Honeydew, which is effectively liquid sunlight. They were quickly able to dispatch the 3 shadows. Unfortunately, they didn't drop anything good, and make their way through the rest of the sewer. On the way, they came across the entrance, or the ladders leading up to the vineyard that they'd previously been in, and the big sewer grate. They carried on, and they found themselves confronted by a strange noise, a meowing noise, in the form of a little cute cat who was following them around the sewers. This cat seemed to be wanting the party to follow it, and as it led them back up the way they'd come, into a small storage area that was full of crates and other boxes, as well as a strange humanoid that was very quickly identified as being a were-rat, whose name was Trantumu. Upon speaking to Trantumu, he informed the party that he was actually the creator of the universe and the prime living example of godhood in all of the realms, and he was there as
we do want to go back to him, by the way.
Do we?
Do you? He was there as punishment for his hubris and his crime, being now punished by him being forced to live in this cell, consuming only his own young in the form of rats, forever and eternity, even though it looked like he'd only been there a few months.
Why does this guy think he's a god?
we never quite got to that, even though there was some very
Agasu's
efforts.
melting his brain.
He did have a slightly melted brain way of speaking and thinking. So yes, Agasu was what was waiting for you at the end of the dungeon. This was the shadow creature, the demon, that had taken up a position underneath the orphanage for at least 2 decades, a decade, many years, as long as Melody could remember, really. And he was slowly feeding off all of the negative emotions and the insecurities of the orphans, the staff, and eventually it spread to the vineyard to the north, resulting in the dead bodies. Well, you didn't find any bodies. The shadow spirits that you combated. Agasu delivered a tasteful and extremely well executed monologue, which was thoroughly ignored by the party.
Purposely ignored. We wanted to piss him off.
Who continued to bully him like they were on some kind of playground for the soul. Agasu proved to be a very tough opponent, though. well, kind of, being very difficult to pin down, as you'd expect from a shadow demon. He made his way around, targeting each of the individuals with cutting and mean comments meant to hit at their insecurities. Little did he realize that this party had absolutely no self-awareness, so they're immune to his criticism. As he was slowly being whittled down in his strength, and he departed and fled, disappearing around a corner. As the party prepared to give chase, they heard another strange sound, a meowing, a meow, 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 and a bright, brilliant light flooding through the sewers. As the cat known as Mr. Tibbles radiated pure, radiant light, further harming Agasu, who, upon returning to the room where the party were, was quickly dispatched by a dagger, the Ken blade that's I've forgotten Deslin's character's name. How have I forgotten that? Temerity, yeah. That Temerity threw, killing Agasu, who dissipated as his smaller minions had into ephemeral smoke. I have missed out that when they arrived in the room with Agasu, they were met by a familiar face, that of Melody, the young woman who they had been speaking with and who they had discovered had some level of magical ability or prescience, who seemed, the party rightly deduced, to be under some kind of spell or trance. And despite the harsh words that she shared with the group and the mean barbs, they were able to get her to safety, and she was taken, right at the end of last session, back up into the orphanage, alongside Helethria, the keeper of the orphanage, as the party find themselves now, with the exception of the one thing I've also forgotten to say, in the sewers, with no immediate danger. In the room with the crates, they found a bunch of paperwork that ties the founder of this building, that is now an orphanage, and this whole estate, Lord Grindle of Nim, grandfather of Calbor of Nim, who the party is currently travelling with, indicating that he had moved a bunch of materials from a realm called Alteria, I think, to this realm, and had left them, and had given instructions that they were to be destroyed in order to conceal a crime. The party found a number of books and a few other useful items within the crates, but nothing that immediately jumped out to them as being criminal in nature, although Jacob found a very nice, very fancy map, which I hope he has noted down in his inventory.
I cannot wait to look at a map. Trust me. If Jacob forgets, Carl won't.
And with that, we find ourselves in the sewers. There's no immediate threat, and a Melody has been taken to safety. What would you like to do?
Does anyone mind if I have these? And he picks up the thieves' tools and the lockpick cheat sheet.
Oh, I got a dagger from Temerity. I'm gonna give it back.
Oh, thank you. I did not change it on my sheet, so thank you for giving me it back.
I don't need it.
As far as the lockpicks are concerned, I have my own, so feel free.
Do you mind showing me how to use them?
Yeah, sure. I'm not the best, admittedly, but I can get the job done on occasion.
I mean, between you and this handy cheat sheet, I reckon we could probably get some places we shouldn't be.
You know what? I think there was one more locked door past that guard. As much as I honestly don't want to talk to him again. If Jacob here fancies it, we can go and practice on that door.
Yeah, I'll give it a go.
Yeah.
All right,
There was a key as well, wasn't there?
There was a key on the skeleton that Devon is currently stood near, alongside the bundle of letters and the small gold purse.
The bundle of letters, yeah, we got Birchwood and Breeze, and what was that last bit?
There was a little purse of coin
Yeah, was that about 82 gold pieces?
That sounds about right. I do
I've
have
got
it
written down.
written down, so yeah, perfect.
What's that? 82 three ways. 27 and 3 silver, 3 copper.
I don't remember if I added to that to my sheet last session, so I'm just gonna do it again.
What was it?
Yeah.
20.
That'll be nice.
I didn't add it. What was it? 20.
It's 27.
Yeah, 27 gold, 3 silver, and 3 copper. Because we are
27
using
plus 3 gold and 3
metric.
copper, right?
No, 27 gold, 3 silver, 3 copper.
3 silver, 3 copper. Cool.
Fuck electronium pieces, whatever they're fucking called. This is metric D&D.
It is.
Electron pieces are just like Chuck E. Cheese tokens. They're not super useful,
yeah,
but they
whatever.
have. They are technically a currency.
So let me remove Melody from the map and her 3.
Right, yeah, so
So these letters.
Little
we've got
fellows. with
what appears to be Calbor's fucking granddad, who's got some evidence of his ill deeds down here. Maybe we need to dig around in those crates a little bit more.
Gnomes are awfully long-lived. Do we know it's not Calbor? Did it have a name or anything on it besides Calbor?
No, but the address on the shipping label, Lord Grindle of Nim, Goldcrest Estate, Calwar Valley. Now, right, they are notoriously long-lived.
Mm-hmm.
And when we looked at the dates between when it was shipped and now, what did that come to, Michael?
Oh God. A while. Hold on.
A while.
Yeah, but there's a while, and then there's like Elven a while,
Or Gnomish a while.
or Gnomish a while.
It's more Gnomish a while than Elven a while. So it was shipped out 7880 on the AMC. And it's 8025 currently.
So
How many years is that?
8025 minus just popping up the old D&D calculator.
I'm
7,
finally
8, 8,
trying to do it in my head and failing
Yeah.
miserably.
145 years since the shipment came.
That's not that long in gnome years, is it?
Yeah, actually,
they live for
Nomi's-
hundreds of years. I
didn't think about that.
My instinct is that it's probably his dad, but let's not discount the fact that gnomes
It
can
could
old
be
as fuck.
him.
Cadbor has previously told you that he is in his 70s in common years.
Yeah.
In common.
So, yeah, it's not him. It's possibly his dad.
And no one
Dad or
would
granddad?
possibly lie about their age.
Or uncle.
Especially not vain aristocrats.
Yeah.
Kind of wimpy aristocrats too, but that could be a fun. Let's go interrogate him.
I know, I'm in my 70s. I'm not at all like 200 years old.
Yeah, I mean it's like Jar Jar Binks, right? You think he's the clown, but secretly he's a Sith Lord.
There we go.
What are we gonna ask him about this? Do we need to ask him about this? What's
I
the
mean,
angle?
probably not.
And who's this other fella? Isambard Felric in Rhyll. Heck.
For some
But
reason I feel like I
should-
want to punch that one. I don't know.
Birchwood and Breeze have sent this man, who's dead, to basically steal some of the evidence of his ill deeds.
Well, I mean, unless you could find a way to make some money off it, or maybe if we can ingratiate ourselves to this Felwick character,
Yeah, and I'm certainly
powerful enough to
not
send mooks out, could be useful.
not beyond a little bit of blackmail.
Yeah. No, I'm not beyond that either. Just whichever one is more useful to us. Felwick or the blackmail.
Let's
Not
see what
Felwick.
we can
The other
find
gnome.
in those crates. Now that we know what we might be looking for.
All right, I'll have to find God.
Okay. So you're heading back towards.
Were we
this...
gonna check this door out, by the way? The this gate.
Yeah.
That's...
Oh, and has Temerity
around.
retrieved his Kenblade?
Yes. I grab everything.
Everything. Okay, as you
Yeah,
pick it
were
up,
we
you
gonna
notice
check this?
that it is warm to the touch.
Ooh.
Ooh,
Okay.
Yeah, there is a gate here.
usual.
Is it just warm to the touch, or is there anything else special about it?
It's well, you had it coated in the honeydew, and as it's laid in this sewer water, that's kind of diluted away. And equally, there's some bit gore or viscera from where it killed Agasu, but again, that's very diluted in the sewer water. Yeah, it's just a bit warm to the touch. Not tingly or anything, just a bit warmer the surrounds.
Okay, well, something to look into then. I'll just sheath it and then put it back in my jacket or wherever I keep it out of sight.
We're going to start marking our way back to where those crates was.
Hmm.
Yeah, but
Yeah, I
Jake
was gonna
wanted
say-
to check out the store though, right?
Which,
Yeah, I
which
was
door?
gonna say while we're here, do you wanna
Oh, that
look
door.
down here and then go to the crates?
I'll be honest, I hadn't noticed that door.
I checked to see if the store is locked.
It
Oh
is.
wait,
Hey, look, perfect job for you, my man.
I have
Right,
a
step aside.
assumption actually where this might lead, but
In that case, I will attempt to pick the lock with the help of the lockpick cheat sheet.
And Temerity. He'll
And-
be
and
there.
Temerity.
Okay, right. Oh, okay. That. So how I was thinking of doing this was because you're learning how to do it. I basically wanted you to have to do it so many times in order to then be able to do it properly. But I think if you've got Temerity's help, then I'll say you got a 50-50 chance.
Okay.
So
Oh,
10s
yes.
and up on a just standard D20.
So just roll.
Yeah, and then once you've got, then let's say that you need to do it 9 more times before you have sufficient proficiency.
Yeah. No,
No.
I do not
You-
successfully pick that lock.
So you're hunched over this lock in the dark, and Temerity's kind of poking and gesturing and telling you how to finagle the widget by twisting
Finagler.
and as you drop the lockpick, you feel like a little bit of a pain in your trousers as you bend down, and you realise that you have a key that you've picked up in your pocket.
Yeah.
This isn't fucking working. Put those lockpicks away.
No.
Well,
Just a
I'm
little
going
bit
to try
more
this
practice.
instead, and then I stick the key in the lock.
Ah, the best lockpicks.
Pre-made lockpicks.
I mean, if it doesn't work at these ones, it might work on the ones further up.
It does indeed clunk open,
It's all
revealing
the same process, really.
Nice.
We'll start you out easy with keys, and then eventually you get the lockpicks.
Yeah.
Revealing a spring, a
I
warm,
had a feeling.
natural water spring, which
Which then
seems to
leads
proceed.
north all the way to where we
I
came.
don't know why there is a skeleton here. I don't recall placing it.
Is there a need for us to check this, or
I'll save you some time. No, it was just a way for you to skip the
yeah,
dungeon.
I gathered that.
if you wanted to.
I gathered that.
If we broke into the hot spring?
Yeah,
Yeah. Well, yeah, it was all the way up at the
Just-
top
just
when we first
Yeah.
splash your way upstream. He'll never hear you coming.
taken the time to unlock the double locked door. I'll write that down.
Okay, well,
Wow.
It's good to know.
Let's go and see. I've completed. I did not
Yes.
write the other guy's name down. Rat boy.
Yeah.
Rat boy.
Rat boy.
God. Let's go check on God.
God, rat boy, same thing.
So you approach the storage room, and you find the boxes in much the same place. No sign of the cat on the way, and as you scurry
I am
across the
looking
water,
out for the cat.
no sign of Mr. Tibbles, and no sign of Mr. Ratman, Trantumu.
Just like a god be missing when we were looking for him.
Okay. Can we?
Your faith in him is just not strong enough for him to appear at this moment.
I mean, that is accurate. Crazy little rat bastard.
He's just in one of the crates watching. He's not.
Can we go and
He's
and
not.
have
Don't start
another
kicking the
search?
crates.
All right.
So
I feel a
what were
little
the-
more comfortable searching these crates when he's not around.
I think you find he's
What were the
everywhere.
books
He's
we found?
omnipotent. Omniscient.
Omnipotent?
Omnipotent? So the books you found were,
Omnipotent?
amongst many damaged old books, the ones intact were The Beauty and History of Altania, the lineage of the Gnomish Diaspora, which is effectively a family history of Calbor's ancestors, Kenblades, the Gnomish Art, a raunchy Gnomish wench ghost to Nerlin, and I think that was it for books. And they are all, with the exception of the Beauty and History in Altania, all written in Gnomish. But thankfully, the raunchy Gnomish wench book has crude illustrations.
Good enough for me.
I know it's not technically wrong, but it feels wrong.
You're not taking it?
I'm not taking it, no.
All right, Jacob's just
So-
going to put it in his bag.
Of course.
No, the gnome porn's in my bag. I've already got it in my inventory.
Don't fight over the
Hey.
gnome smut.
The right buyer will
I put
buy
it
it
in
for a nice price.
last week. Old gnome porn book. One.
This might
Which
be
ones
some
were-
limited edition shit. You don't know.
Devin holds out his character sheet.
right
Look,
gnome
it's
will
already on
pay
my
for it.
character sheet.
I don't know what to tell you about. I made a point of it.
You can't take this away from him.
Look,
So-
you can,
Gnome porn.
Jacob, you can have the next weird porn book we find.
Oh,
So the
only like
Kenblade
2
book
sessions to wait.
and the
Yeah.
Nim family history book, they were all in Gnomish.
Yes.
Maybe the
The
family's
Beauty and
really
History
raunchy.
of
Maybe that's a
Altania
porn book too.
wasn't.
Yeah, the Beauty and History of Altania was in common, and the other 3 were all in Gnomish.
All right.
Right. Can we have another look around here?
Yeah, by all means, go for it. Investigation?
With advantage because we're all helping?
Yes, we'll just do the one. Okay, yep. You,
Oh wow, you have a decent investigation.
yeah,
I thought
just
we were all
bad rolls.
Yeah.
So yes, you search through some more crates. It's mostly homewares, serving platters, chafing dishes, bedspreads, curtains, all sorts of quite old, potentially somewhat valuable but heavy items. You find a selection of papers, all written in Gnomish, various handwriting on them. Beyond that, it's you kind of already found the really interesting stuff in your first search. You just found these papers like wedged up against some of the old books in one of the book crates.
Okay.
And of course, no sign of your rat deity. Or your cat deity.
Yeah.
Flashbang cat was the shit, to be fair. Alright, right, Jacob's just gonna make a little space on one of the crates. And he's gonna whip out that old map. Just have like a quick... a less quick than last time, but also quick look.
Okay.
Look, like, with has he still got his light? Did I get shattered? Or because I left it by Devon?
No, I think that survived.
Alright, yeah, so I would have carried that with me, definitely. At least in here.
Yeah, cool.
So yeah, I'll place it sort of on the corner of it, just to see. And
So
yeah, I want to have a...
What are
have
you
a look
looking
at it.
for in
A proper-
particular? Just a general good.
Yeah, what kind of things are catching my eye?
Okay.
Um,
Cool. So
I know that it's it's like a rift map kind of thing, basically, in a way, but
yeah, it's effectively a map of how the Axis of Realms, or an interpretation and stylization of how the Axis of Realms connected the year that it was designed. So you can already see from it that it's probably quite old and out of date. In fact, as you investigate it, and this is a big map, so you're probably having to like look at it piece by piece and roll it and unroll it. You see that the map is dated 8009. Sorry, 8019.
yeah, I remember establishing that it's quite old.
Yeah, so it's over. Oh, not 8019. Sorry, I'm being an idiot. Was it 7? We did write down
7880.
7880. Thank you.
That's been the shipping label.
Yeah, and then it was 10 years before that, so 7870 is the date on the map. Just making a note of that, because I have too many tabs open. And you see again this really beautiful, almost like ink on glass kind of marble texture in the background of this paper, the paper's very thin, but it's incredibly strong. And gold ink and gold leaf have been used to decorate it. And you see in the center of it Aximundi, as usual, and then various other realms connected up to it. In total...
I'm curious... Sorry, go on.
I was just saying, in total, if you had to estimate on the whole map, there's probably around 3,000 realms.
Damn. By spending like 5 minutes or so, or up to like maybe 10 minutes, am I able to find Altania and maybe Calba Valley? Just out of curiosity.
Yeah, so it takes a long time. Like you probably stood there, kind of looking around, and in fact, can I get can I get an investigation check for that actually?
Oh. Hey. That's
Nice.
cool.
Okay.
Shitty
So-
investigation modifier. Good roll.
Right?
So you somehow, out of the 3,000 odd realms on this, you find Altania. And a little insignificant realm. It's connected to about 6 other realms that you can see. One of them is Nim, the capital of the Gnomish realms. And as you're reading it, you notice that someone in what seems just like an act of vandalism, because of the beauty of this map, has put a line through the name. Like
With the
describe
name of Nim.
of Altania.
Oh.
And they've just it's just a little jagged, very thin, almost like the edge of a razor blade. They've just scraped the paint off through the middle of the name. You can still make it out, but it's just
Like it's crossed out.
yeah.
We know of Altania.
Yeah.
None of you had ever heard of it.
Okay.
Okay.
Altania.
And I mean, between you've probably only visited a few dozen realms at max, and you'll only know of a few hundred, and there are thousands and thousands. Well, just thousands.
Yeah.
So it's not unusual for you to not know of a realm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think I want to
Jacob-
read
Jacob-
the beauty and
yeah.
history of Altania, but not whilst I'm
In a sewer. and
Yeah,
wounded.
that's fair.
Yes, I mean, I don't mind doing it wounded, but I'd like to do it with a strong drink and
Yeah.
a soft bed.
Letting the wounds heal while you do it.
So, do we think we've killed everything that was causing problems up at the vineyard?
So.
You've done a
Because
pretty
I
good
recall-
sweep.
I recall there was some rather nice bedrooms
Oh, in the vineyard, yeah.
in the vineyard. Yes,
Hmm.
much better than another night on the floor of the dining room of an orphanage.
Yeah, do we want to talk to Calbor?
In the morning, I think.
There are also
In the morning.
beds in the orphanage. It's just because you arrived
Yeah.
without any notice, and they didn't want to put you in with a bunch of kids. They kind of just shoved you in the dining room. But
Even still, that's like staying at a hostel or
Yeah.
like a 5-star.
Yeah,
B&B,
I'm
so-
thinking like a nice, expansive
Luxury, yeah.
vineyard.
deserve it.
It's
They
like
deserve it.
silks,
Weapons
linens,
treat
Yeah.
yourself.
Egyptian cotton sheets, all of that.
Only
Maces
Amazing.
and
finest.
crossbows. Yeah.
And
Yeah, fair
Yeah.
enough.
that is
Canyons.
where Devon wants to fucking sleep the night.
Is that a
Ghosts
bath
or
area
no ghosts.
in the vineyard?
Um,
Some place to get cleaned up.
there will be. I don't think I built one.
Okay.
but
Well,
there
if nothing
will
else, we can enslave Devon to clean us up. Once we get out of the sewer, though.
Prestidigitate his way
Well,
to a good night's
yeah.
sleep.
Just vacuum.
Now we know we've got a nice shortcut between the vineyard and
Yeah.
Okay.
All right. Well,
the other place. The orphanage.
Altania, eh? I'll keep that in mind. all the wires crossed out.
Maybe the portal closed or something. I
Mm.
don't know. This will be old information too. 150
It will be.
years, whatnot. Who knows?
Are
Either
we
way,
talking to Culber about this? This whole room?
you know what? I'm gonna leave that up to the smuggler.
Mm.
It's been down there a long time, and it's fucking damp as shit in here.
I
Surprised we
mean,
found what we did.
the way I see it, we didn't find it. If he finds it, that's fine. If he doesn't, well, let's say on my way back around these parts, someday I might pop in and just maybe take a couple more trinkets.
All right. Well, in that case, before we leave, let's make sure everything is resealed. Don't want to
Where's-
make it obvious that we've been here.
Right.
Where does
Yeah.
this ladder come out?
That's the one that leads to the kitchen of the vineyard.
Ah, yeah, the vineyard.
Ah, and where did that one
So-
lead out?
Yeah.
That was the one you came
barn.
down from the barn with the
Ah,
big
the
barrels.
barn. Gotcha, yeah.
Spooky, scary
So we'll
barn.
be going up this one, trying to see if I can pick any of these locks. Possibly.
Okay, let's fuss. Which one are you going up? Sorry,
Well, I'm going to try and this one first of all.
Yep.
Yeah, these
And
two
I'll
are
help
locked
him
in.
out.
Yep. So it's a D. Yep. You fail.
5. And then I'm going to try this one.
I mean, that one's already open.
That
I mean, I
one was
can go through and
open.
lock
This
it.
one was locked. The
Oh, that
top
one was
left
locked.
Yeah,
And
I go
that
through it,
one.
I shut
You
it.
lock
Lock
them.
it.
This-
Well, yeah. Okay. So
It's just knocking them all out.
yep.
Practicing
D20. No, you fail.
No, you gotta
Ah.
do it like this and like move your arm a little bit, a little easier.
Temerity shows you how it's done. So this one now.
Simply moves his shoulders. You don't quite know how you feel about it.
He wraps his arms around you from behind to show you how to do it.
No, honestly, I'm not going to
saying
bother with that
completely.
one because if
Oh, okay.
we can't get through those ones and we're going to get past that ladder, I bet
Okay.
over practice at this point.
Front up. So
Well,
you've practiced
we
on
should probably-
4.
you should probably debrief with the matron, right?
Well, it looks like you're getting slightly better at it, just not quite opening it.
Yeah, you're on.
Yeah, steady progression, I have to say.
I
yeah.
think next time you might just about open it.
I nearly had it.
Okay, but yeah, point being here, should we go talk to the matron before we?
Should we, or should we go to bed and talk to her
yeah.
tomorrow?
I mean, as far as she was aware, she left us in a sewer with shadow
Yeah.
creatures. Granted,
Yeah.
we probably killed them all.
Yeah,
but it
let's
was
get
job till
a
the
little
morning.
debrief on the
So it
mission.
will be a nice surprise when we come in tomorrow morning, fresh faced and strong.
my
Come on,
God,
Devin,
that
I
a
just
boy,
push
you know,
him to walk.
Not
Yeah, look.
dying.
Let's put it this way, Devin. I'm going to see the matron. If you want to join me, cool.
Fine.
I go up at least back to the orphanage.
Yeah, same.
I follow reluctantly, looking back longingly at the ladder up to the vineyard.
The nice comfy beds. So you tramp your way back through the sewer, returning to the other ladder. And who's going up first?
I'll go up first.
Okay.
Hold on a second.
There's like a hatch door. As you try to push on it, it doesn't move, and you hear a voice, concerned tinge to the voice. Who is it?
It's just us. Everything's fine down here.
Oh,
I mean, it's smelly, but besides that, everything's fine.
I'm glad to hear that, boys. You know, just to be safe, who did you meet with earlier?
So we did briefly talk to a rat man, but he seems to have
A what?
disappeared.
I meant in the orphanage.
About the right man.
I think she means the
Oh.
deacon.
Yes,
Sorry,
yes.
it's been a long night.
The deacon, not a rat man. That's. I'm not too sure I want
I mean,
to
he
know what
seemed
that is.
honorable enough, but I don't know. He could be a rat man.
I bumped him
Rat Man
early on
treat.
the head slightly, like slap.
Don't tell civilians about the rat men.
Don't tell him about the room.
I'll tell whoever I want about my new god, and I don't really believe
Know
it.
about the room.
You hear the sound of items being dragged, heavy trunks being moved from off the hatch, and
And she hears the
it
sound of
opens
bickering.
up. There's bickering, whispers of rat man under your voices as a candlelight fills the passageway, and your eyes sting a bit as they adjust to the bright light, and you see Helethria's smiling, friendly face with a look of genuine concern and gratitude splashed over it.
Alright, we'll climb out. Tomato, like, shake and smack his clothes off. Clean as he can get, really, I suppose. So, yeah, hopefully the nightmares will stop now. Well, at least, directly related to that creature we fought. Might still be some trauma or whatnot, but work through that in time.
And so I'm just moving us back to the back to the orphanage. So
Sure, there you go.
you come up in the pantry. The pantry
Over
just
here?
yeah, just to the side of the. Hold on, what the hell's going on here?
Sit on some beans.
With Helethria. She shoves stuff back over this trap door. Is now. I think we'd best head up to my office, don't you think, boys?
Yeah. As much as I enjoy the smell of thyme and whatnot, it might be more pleasant.
Have you got a drink up there?
I suppose we can see our way to finding one.
Good. I mean,
You don't look very well.
I do not feel very well.
Oh,
Miss
have
Alethria.
have a seat. Here you go by the fire, and
Thank you
Rye
very kindly.
will do. I assume.
Yes, absolutely.
I wrap a big blanket around Devon.
she toddles off, and you see she's in full like mama bird or bear mode, whatever analogy you want to use. She's like just toddling around, looking through drawers, bringing out glasses. You see
Prestidigitating the shit off my boots.
tutting as she sees the footprints you dragged up from the sewers. She looks over.
I've done that earlier.
She looks over at the three of you, like warming yourselves by the fire, and brings the drinks over. Seems genuinely pleased to be here with you. Here you go then, and she hands them out. So,
Thanks.
you took care of it? You know,
It is done.
We
As far as
Oh.
we're aware, it should be. I was going to say back to normal, but it seemed to have been here for a while, so I guess back to the outside world normal.
way things should be.
Yeah.
and dark drizzle is spattering against the window. But you do notice, even though it's rainy and miserable outside, and two of you are injured, and Devon just wants to fall into a sleep coma, there is the air has lightened somewhat. You noticeably there is less tension in the building than you experienced when you were first here.
No, good. Hopefully this can be the new normal. Nice and peaceful. So yeah, it does feel like a case closed with the small caveat of Melody and her magics.
Yeah. Well, Melody's still a very gifted individual, it seems.
Well, that she is, and she's recovering at the moment, but whatever it was that was down there, it's taken a lot out of her.
Yeah. Hopefully, we'll surely get a chance to talk to her still. That's fine. Where's Calbo?
Calbo? Oh, he's well, last I saw him, he was snoozing at one of the desks in the classroom.
I had to do some math and it got him out.
Well, I think he was. Between you and I think he was a bit upset that he didn't go with you.
He would have died.
Well, probably, but
definitely be dead.
That wasn't a good idea.
He was pacing back and forth and worrying about you and saying that he wouldn't forgive himself.
We might find.
Oh, what was that there, Devon?
Just thinking out loud.
Well, you don't think too harshly. You've clearly had a bit of you've been in the wars a bit.
Yeah, we're going to need some rest. We'll probably speak to Calbo if we can stay at the mansion this time round. Maybe it's all safe now.
Oh, by all means.
Spending a night there will probably give me some shivers the first time round, but
you're also, of course, welcome to stay here. You can have this room, and I can go and bunk with the girls. My bed's not as fancy as Master Calbo's, but it's good. It's actually from the vineyard. We borrowed some of their furniture a few years ago.
Good. Yeah, well, I mean that's by all means keep this room. You need to run this place, right? We'll make our way back to the vineyard and stay in luxury.
Out of your own bed.
What time is it now?
It is late.
Midday.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Midday?
Midday.
Lunchtime.
How concussed is Devon?
We will see it tomorrow anyway.
Man, the moon's awfully bright today.
I doubt we'll be leaving too soon, considering we arrived here to spend a couple nights here. And the whole time we've been dealing with things, so we'd like some rest, I imagine.
Oh, I can imagine, boys. Just make sure that before you go, you come and speak to Melody. She was rambling about you. I've gone Scottish again. It's because the music. I can't hear the lilt in the Welsh. Also, hi, Lame Llama. Welcome to the D&D stream.
Yo, hello, Llama.
So, she was beside herself. She was whispering and muttering your names, and she just kept saying the word sorry. So there's something on her mind, I think, and she wouldn't forgive me if I didn't implore you to stop by before you go.
I was gonna say just tell her all right, we'll see her tomorrow, but if she wants to see us today,
no, tomorrow will be fine. She's asleep, I think. It's best to let her rest.
Let her rest. Just if she wakes, just tell her all right. We'll visit.
And just
I mean,
gives a nod and finishes a drink.
If nothing else, we're gonna steal our employer's vineyard for the night. We got to come back here to talk to him, so we'll be back in the morning. Don't you worry.
Do we take him with us, or do we?
Nah, leave him here.
He's
already
those questions.
Let him have his nap.
Yeah. He can nap, we can get to another place. It's a win-win.
Yeah.
Plus, he still has that armor.
Just throwing like a rager party at the vineyard while he's here.
I don't
We'll
think we
make
have
sure
the
it's
energy for
safe
raid.
the first time around.
We've
Maybe,
been through the wars. I don't think we have the energy for a rager.
maybe hold off on telling Cowboy that we're at the vineyard.
I won't say a word. I'll just, if he asks, I will say that you're fine, you're well and alive, and you've just, investigating. That should keep him from worrying
Yes.
too much.
Investigating is a good term.
Nice and vague.
It was a nice sword you had, Miss Alethria.
Oh, that, and she kind of points over to this sideboard where the sword is on it. That was my mother's. As you probably saw, I have not had much practice with it. She'd no doubt give me a stern telling off.
Do you mind if I take a look at it?
By all means.
Do you
would
mind
know,
if I have it?
You mind if I have this?
That's a nice heirloom you've got there. In the
Well,
family for
I'm the main
10,000 years, you
character.
say. So it's
How grateful are you for this demon slaying we've been doing in your sewers?
Just smack you on the back of the head. No.
you
Bad.
as you hobble over, leaving your cozy fireside chair, drink in hand, staggering.
Shiver as I move across the room.
Yeah, kind of staggering from side to side, not from the drink, but from the ass kicking that you have sustained. Mm-hmm. You approach this sword, short sword length, obviously elvish in design, very blunt. It hasn't been maintained for a very long time. Still rust free, but it's obviously now a decorative ceremonial piece. But you, as you kind of you pick it up and you feel the weight of it and the balance, you get the sense that this will many moons ago have been quite a formidable blade. I mostly use it to, put a bit of the old fear into the more rowdy children. We don't like corporal punishment, but we're not against a bit of the old.
Not a bit of capital punishment.
Don't make me go and get the sword.
Jesus.
I'm gonna beat you or just kill you.
Oh no, we don't do that. But we make them polish it. Now, boys, what kind of
my mind went in a
establishment
very
do you
different
take us for
direction
here?
there.
Although-
I am sorry. I am a product of my environment.
I must admit I have been
Oh.
tempted from time to time, trying to deal with 20 rowdy little boys and girls who refuse to clean up their plates and do their chores.
Madam, if I don't mind, I'm very happy you and Devin are not on the same page at the moment.
Well, he's clearly not feeling too well. You should probably go and have a rest.
Yeah, let's get you to bed, Grandpa.
Back in my day, we used to just stab the kids. Right. Aside from Devon reliving his childhood issues, you make your
Well,
you make your way back through with Devon just along the way insisting that
27 brothers and sisters I had. 3 of us there was left.
They had to walk 36 hours to get to school.
both ways.
Oh,
Up to snuff.
Downhill,
both ways.
uphill way. You make your way through. It's quiet. The children are mostly abed. You head down towards the front entrance, and again, it's a sense of there's more levity, brightness, even though it's dark outside. You step out into the rain, and it's refreshing as it hits you. I assume you're going overground.
Yeah.
You could go back through the sewers, but either way, you're going to get wet.
Yeah, I'd want it slightly less smelly. So
Yeah, I'd rather more clean wetness than,
Okay, and I prepared a lovely image of what the AI. Oh, for anyone who's listening, apparently we have 8 people. So anyone who's listening, I've been using AI to create scenery. So this is the AI interpretation of the orphanage on a hill.
Very nice.
Oh, nice.
Yeah. So you leave, you make your way downhill through the gardens. You can see the vineyard.
Where is this?
On the stream.
Stream.
I'm looking on the stream.
Are you?
Refresh. It's up for us.
I'm refreshing. There
Or are
it
you
is.
just watching someone else's stream?
AI art.
I still
Get
had
it paused.
sewers.
AI art would probably be really good for like a Cthulhu, like old gods sort of
Ooh.
like D&D game.
Yeah.
Because everything's just slightly off.
Yeah, it's
Even
pretty.
the architecture.
Yeah, don't look at any one thing too much, otherwise it gets trippy. But
Yeah, it's a mood. It's a mood picture.
exactly.
Setup,
More
yeah.
than anything, yeah.
So you make your way back down the hill. The moon is out. It's bright. It's round. It's big. It's in the sky, splashing down from behind clouds as they float past. You can see the vineyard lit with that same huey white glow that you get when there's lots of moonlight and rain. No shapes this time. Nothing moving between the what do you call them? The rows of vines. The building is black as you approach. You make your way up the long drive again. You see the same bell outside the door. The front door's left slightly open. You head in.
I go in. Yeah.
Yeah. It's dark. Still dark. Any fires that were lit when you were last here are long gone out.
I illuminate Jacob's hat.
Jacob, your hat is now a glowing beacon of both fashion and light. You
Nice.
are you searching the property, or are you just heading up to bed?
Just making sure there's no weird vibes.
Yeah, Jacob will have a look around. He'll take that lantern he's got. Definitely walk around with it for a bit, and then later
just
on,
cast light on your hat.
right before he goes to bed, he will go towards the barn to find that lamp, the other lamp that he left outside for later.
Right. So
Goes out into the stormy night alone
on his own.
Fighting
Back to the barn that was basically
with
just
a glowing
tormenting
hat.
him. With a glowing hat. Yeah, you make your way through the house, through the main. I mean, bring up the map so we can remember what the house actually looks like. Through the vineyard, I mean, not the house. This one here. So aside from the fact that it's very sunny in this picture, imagine it's stormy and rainy. You enter the main atrium room, you wander around for a while, you make your way into the kind of study room, various bookshelves, same stuff that you've seen before. And as you make your way, you don't find anything. It's eerie. Every time you hear a floorboard creak, you're on edge. You're anxious, especially Jacob, after what he's been through.
That,
But you go room to room, now knowing what you now know about the creatures and the fact that they don't like light. gives you a sense of greater confidence. You've vanquished these creatures before. Room to room, nothing. Not in this room. Not in this room. You go into the ballista room. There's a ballista.
And a cannon.
And a cannon. You head upstairs. You check the
Bitches
bedrooms.
love cannons. I do too.
Hey, Blank.
Blank.
Quietly
Hell
walks
yeah.
in from the shadows. No things coming from the shadows, please. We've had enough of that.
Yeah.
So you head upstairs. You find the bedrooms very much the same, empty. It occurs to you that you didn't find any bodies, so you'll never really know what happened to the people who lived and worked here. And then on that solemn thought, you just leave the room and go and look at the cool weapons in the armory that Calbor has acquired for himself over the years. Like military grade weaponry and armaments.
I steal at least 2 more daggers.
You grab 2 more daggers on your kind of as soon as you enter the room. You're not even waiting until you leave. Have a look round. Nothing out of the ordinary. You realise that you have quite a nice view from up here. Actually, you can see the orphanage up on the hill. A few lights still on.
The orphanage is to the south, right?
Orphanage is to the southeast.
Okay. This cannon is very nearly pointing at the orphanage.
No, the cannon is pointing directly down the driveway that leads to the property. But it's not just aiming cannons at the orphanage.
Interesting.
This orphans will never fuck with me again. What do you mean again?
Steal my old bed, will you? And then
is there like a cannonball that's maybe slightly smaller than baseball size?
Baseball size? Well, there's these little like grape shot cannons. Mm-hmm. So, yeah, I think so. I think there's a
something that's got
wide
a bit of
range
weight to it, but it isn't like too heavy.
Twice as heavy, but the same size as a billiard ball.
Yeah,
kind of thing. Like you could very easily kill someone with it, but it's also small enough that you could use it in a game, which is how you know it's a good weapon.
Of death.
And take 2 of them and put them in a sock.
Oh, yeah.
You'll go teach those orphans some discipline.
Oh, no.
This is how they did it back in his day.
We need to talk.
This is discipline on a ship. This is.
No wonder all of you motherfuckers have peg legs. Jesus.
Yeah, and so if you want to grab a couple of those, then by all means do. The veranda at the back overlooking these like long rows of desolate, empty, dark fields of vines, grapes. That's what it is. Again, you get an eerie shudder as you look over at the barn, remembering what you've experienced there. But as Temerity kind of leans against this catapult that is just on the veranda, the moon is bright. You start to feel slightly less anxious. The house appears to be free of any shadows of death.
Dope. Well, if it's all the same to you guys, I'm gonna go to bed.
Yeah, I'm gonna
Me
do
too.
one last test and get that lamp from outside, and then if I
That's fine.
survive, then I'm okay in sleeping here.
If I survive.
That's the best way to test.
Yeah, I mean, he's not wrong.
If I don't die, I'll be all right.
If I don't die, I'll be alive. I do have Devin, vacuum me clean with prestidigitation.
Yeah, I should say I also liked I prestidigitate the fires light.
Okay, it gets positively cozy as you clean yourselves up and start to prepare to go to bed, as you hear the door shut as Jacob makes his way out into the storm. You find yourself in a familiar position, Jacob, as it feels like every few dozen paces you get the sense of something like just trying to reach out and caress the back of your neck, and you turn around and there's nothing there, but nothing grabs you. You carry on, you walk past row after row after row of these long trellises, little paths between them, shadows being cast down from a harsh moon. And you make your way to the barn. At one point you hear something, you hear a rustle, a darting sound in the undergrowth of the trellises. You can't see anything.
I'll slow down and sort of like shine my lantern towards that direction for a minute, and then carry on if I don't see anything.
Both your hat, which is providing a nice level of ambient light, and your lantern, which is a directioned lantern. You can... You don't see anything. You continue, and it seems like these rows are just going on forever. Then you remember that the last time you came this way, you were basically running in fear. So it seemed like a quicker journey. You get a sense of how alone you are out here. You hear the sound of what you think is a fox yelling, well, screaming as foxes do, somewhere out in the fields. An owl hoots. And you get a sense of relief as you reach the barn, and then a sense of dread as you open the door and step in. In front of you, where you're stood now, you see the grate going down into the sewers. Pitch black. The same red, viscous liquid splattered over the floor. The room is
just wine.
dark.
I go for the lantern, the lamp,
Yep.
and make my way back.
You find your oil lamp, and with a sense of relief,
Oil lamp.
but also an urge not to look backwards. You head back out into the night. As you come roughly to where you heard the movement and the rustling in the vines earlier, you hear the same thing.
You know, in the same area.
Same area. About here.
With the lamp in one hand, a lantern in the other hand, and a shiny light hat, I will slowly make my way towards it and go, hello?
So you're
Anyone out here?
heading up into the trellis row.
Just into it, but like on the edge, if you get me, not too far in. So like, you know, like that.
Okay.
This
Yeah.
furthest, like.
So you make your way in. It goes from your footsteps sounding quiet as they smush against well-trod earth onto old leaves and crinkling. With each tread, as you move a little bit closer, you illuminate the whole area in front of you, casting harsh shadows, especially underneath the trellises where you can't quite see.
I will put the lantern on the floor while I stand around and have a look. So I get like different angles and things.
As you're crouching down to put the lantern, something rushes in front of you. Ooh. You get an immediate flashback to the time that the shadow came toward you faster than you could think. You prepare yourself for a fight. A rabbit sits in front of you. About here. It looks up at you. Its eyes squint and its retinas adjust to the beacon of light. It stands like proud on its back legs and tilts its head, having a look at you.
You scare me, little buddy.
as you speak.
You're not a flashbang rabbit, are you?
As you speak, it kind of realizes what you are and scampers off, continuing a long way down the trellis. You watch it go until it disappears from your light.
It's alright. If the rabbit's here, that means I can be here. Right?
That makes sense. But
Yeah.
I just like that he
Jacob's just
where he's
nervously
allowed to
talking to
be
himself.
based on what rabbits
It's
are
just
doing.
Jacob trying to make
Yeah.
himself feel better.
Can't be that
In a
dangerous if the rabbit's
slightly shaky voice.
here.
Alright. Yeah, I'll start making my way back, and it's time for bed.
You arrive back at the house drenched. You find the other
Everyone's dead.
two have departed. But as you go upstairs, you
Whose room is closest when I walk in?
that's a good question. Let's go back to the map.
I've claimed this little red one.
I guess.
Okay.
Devin, do you want
Yeah.
that?
And I'm in the middle one. So you can have
Right.
elbows or that one.
Yeah, I'll stay in this room, but I'll walk past it and sort of knock on Devon's door. Devon?
Yeah.
Like I'm just so you know, like I'm not waiting for like a door to open. I'm just sort of like talking through the door.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
You're okay. You're good. Yeah, I'm good.
Yeah.
I didn't die.
Yay!
Good to know.
Don't make me get the sock and the
How long? How long is the hat gonna be brought for?
Oh, turn it off.
Does it turn off?
Yeah, I dispelled the light on the hat.
Oh. Oh, I didn't make.
love
okay,
that.
Well, that was timely,
Good
wasn't it?
call.
That's
Good
good
night,
timing,
Jacob.
I completely forgot about the
Hey, never
fucking
mind.
hat.
It's gone off now.
Okay, cool.
I
Take
got
well,
one.
buddy.
What are the chances?
I'll
Oh god damn it! I
I'll-
love that. Could you turn this hat off, please?
I'll see you in the morning.
Alright, mate. I'm gonna lay and read some of the beauty and history of Altania before I head in for the night.
Okay.
Jacob's just gonna try and fall asleep. He'll keep his new lamp that he's gonna keep. But the lantern that's been on, he's just gonna leave that on, and sort of like in the corner of the room by the door, slightly like hooded, maybe not pointing towards him, just sort of so it shines against the wall a bit at the door or something. Just add a little ambient light to the room, make it not
Okay.
as scary tonight. And I'll just like if it goes off through the night, it goes off. I don't mind. Like I'm leaving that. I don't care. I'm burning through it.
But Jacob needs a nightlight.
Yes. After that kind of experience, yes.
And
I really
temerity is. Oh, sorry, Karen.
I'll describe what Timothy's doing in just a second, but I love the idea that you can recast light on objects even if you can't see them, as long as he's done it in the past. That way you could just bother Jacob all night, randomly turn it on or off.
Ding, ding.
It's Morse code. Yeah. Timothy will just throw his like pack down, the glove already inside of it. He'll sling his sword, which I've named Matoi, off just up against the nightstand. And then very like, it's been a long day and I'm really sore, just kind of fall in the bed. And just very quickly collapse and pass out.
Okay. Cool stuff. So dealing with Devon first. You flick through the book. It is in Gnomish. No, it's
I thought
not.
that'd be
No,
in
you're
history.
absolutely right.
I
It's
thought it
not.
was Mankind.
At first, you think it's in Gnomish, but that's just a little.
Booziness wearing off.
That's just a smut.
So, at first, you think you've picked up the Saucy Wench book, but as someone else has just doodled some random images into this one in Gnomish under the cover. But as you go through and you read about there's lots of chapters. This is a pretty big book, but there's some very nice imagery in it. You know.
I start by sort of scanning down the contents page, seeing if there's anything that particularly sort of picks my fancy. Flick through the book, see if there's anything jotted down in the margins or
There's a very nice
anything like that.
timeline that catches your eye. It sets out the founding of Altania, that it's a gnomish realm, one of the first, as part of the wider expansion of gnomes out into the axis of realms, and that it has been fairly stable, and that's why it became quite a prominent trading area and attracted numerous influential gnomish families. That it has some areas of great outstanding beauty. You see an old ink drawing of a mountain range, and then also a beautiful valley that you see has written in the text next to it, Calbor Valley, and you recognise from your pursuit of information. And as you read on, it generally just gives you, from your kind of drowsy browsing, an impression of a fairly prosperous, middlingly important, predominantly gnomish realm, that was kind of like, at some point it was the place to go if you were a gnome and didn't want to live in Nim and deal with, expensive capital realm and all of the other issues that go along with that. It was kind of like the well-to-do holiday home place, basically. But it was considered quite a popular tourist location once the axis of realms kind of came together in the form of the Empire, and you had all of a sudden loads of realms to go to if you had the money. And so lots of people who weren't gnomes came, and it became really popular with specifically humans from the core kind of human world realms. And yeah, it just had a fairly happy, prosperous life. No real history of war. It's just kind of the gnomes turned up, built a really nice place, and then enjoyed it. You see that the book was published in 7640.
Okay, so 240 years before it was shipped to...
It's a pretty old book.
Oh, there's quick maths there.
Hey, well done.
Okay. What happened in those
He
240
really
years?
is the highest intelligence in the party.
With my 10.
It's 10, yeah.
Yeah, and you actually are as well.
So yeah, the book that you hold in your hands is 400 and... Yeah, coming up to 400 years old.
That's got to be worth something.
There's lots more information in the book that you could find if you were curious, but as you're just browsing and reading kind of the Cliff Notes summary, that's what you take away from it.
Well, I put down the beauty and history of Altania. Flicked through the gnome porn for 10 minutes before I go to sleep.
Hell yeah.
You see a selection of...
You don't have to ask me what I see. It's fine.
Both crudely drawn and very tastefully done depictions of the title character on all sorts of adventures throughout Nerlin, which is the capital city of Nim.
Naughty girl.
Then, Jacob, you just doze off like a light. Temerity, you settle again straight into sleep. And you all get a fairly uneventful night. And in fact, as you wake up, you feel very refreshed. You feel perhaps slightly more powerful than you were before. Except, Temerity, you had a dream. Well, you think it was a dream. The same sense you've had the last 3-4 nights of someone or something trying to communicate with you starts up again. But this time, it goes a bit further. You get a sense that there is something that wants something from you, same as before. But now you can kind of conceptualize what that thing is. It doesn't take a form in your mind's eye as you're sleeping in your dream, but you can see that whatever it is, it's being torn in two, pulled in two different directions. One light and one shadow. And you get the sense that it is almost imploring you for help. And then you wake up.
Huh. Okay. Okay, so something's trying to get a hold of me, and it is asking for help.
It came to the wrong guy.
I want the help, if that helps. I don't know. Oh, you know what? I have an idea. We'll do that later. I'm gonna, once we wake up, I'm gonna pick up my toy, my sword, my 7 daggers. I'm gonna get nice and properly dressed. And then I'll go down and have a baked potato or something in the morning.
Okay. I think potatoes are the only food that's left in the vineyard. So,
Fine.
You all wake up. You reconvene in the vineyard in the light of day. It's a far more pleasing place. Windows are cast open. Fresh air, breeze comes in.
Lovely sun shining on the catapults.
It glints off the cannon aimed at the orphanage. There's the rain has stopped, but there's large puddles all over the vineyard. But it lends it a charming, fresh feeling as you get ready to leave.
I like that sort of weather when it's just after raining and it's just like
Yeah,
a little bit of sun comes out maybe here and there, and it's so nice.
So the plan for today.
Devon sort of. Are we back down? Can we just jump onto the downstairs map?
Downstairs, map, of course.
Okay.
Who wants some baked potatoes? I've got so many of them.
Jacob's like unpacking his rations. Like, what did you say? Potatoes?
Yeah, freshly baked, old family recipe.
Oh, all right. He packs his rations.
Devon comes around this corner, this tankard in hand, in a big swig. Morning.
Good morning.
How was your sleep?
Not too bad. I feel pretty good today.
Yeah.
Another
You know
big
what?
swig.
I slept better than I expected. I don't even know when I fell asleep.
Okay. As you guys sit down at the table in front of the fire, wherever you are, Tamari brings you plates full of some really, like, as fancy as he could get them to look with the supplies we have in the pantry. But the baked potatoes, and they seem to be heavily seasoned, and it's just like the hottest, most like mouth destroying seasoning. They're
Stuff
like,
they
well,
use in the dwarven sausage.
Like burnt spice.
yeah. So I obviously I couldn't cook them with any hellfire, but hopefully all the seasoning kind of gets you in the same area. So yeah, old family recipe.
Is it
You
just
know, just
gunpowder?
potato would have been fine.
Gunpowder.
Cowboys?
Oh,
That's the secret, gunpowder.
the potato
Black
starts
pepper.
exploding in my mouth.
Do you know how legitimately dangerous that would be for devils if they have like fire inside of
Oh
them?
my god, right?
It's extra spicy.
Hey, that's something to keep in mind.
Why? What you planning on doing to any devils there?
What?
What?
Nothing.
That's how we kill Twig. We give him a baked potato with gunpowder.
Yeah. Marinated in gunpowder.
Would you like to join us for dinner?
Well, what an
It's
ignoble
to die
death for an immortal being. So
Fucking potato takes them out. Hundreds of years. Potato.
potato in hand, you sit in this now quite well appointed and tastefully done study room, whatever you call it, living room.
All right. Anyone want to do anything else this morning?
Jacob's just gonna have like a general look around, any like interesting. I don't know. There's like some map here I see or whatever. You'll just have a little like
Mm.
you know, familiarize
Evan's
himself
going to
with the
do
place a
the
little bit.
same, but specifically he's looking for bottles of wine.
Okay. So, Jacob, you go and have a look at the map, and it's a map of Aximundi.
Oh.
Nothing you haven't really seen before. In fact, it doesn't look like it's really been used. Almost like it's a curiosity rather than a functional actual
Yeah.
map. But
He will kind of keep it that
Yeah,
way anyway.
it's pretty good. Like, it's a high quality map. As you kind of just wander around the room, drinking your whatever you're drinking to kind of wash away the burning taste of the potatoes.
Yes.
You have a look. You wander over to the bookshelf, and you just browsing. Most of the titles are in Gnomish. There's a few well-known, common, classic kind of books. Books on the Empire and various guilds. History of Aximundi. Talks of some various wars, like just standard, like popular history books that someone who's either well-read or wants to be seen as well-read would own. And you do see a title that sounds familiar. You in fact see two books that sound familiar. One is the lineages of the Gnomish diaspora, but in a much newer edition than the one that you've seen before. And you see also Kenblades, the Gnomish art. Again, a newer printing.
Ooh.
Still in Gnomish, unfortunately. So, yeah, a more modern selection of books, basically.
Is there anything on the lineage of this household? This vineyard? Anything about Calbo or his
Good idea.
ancestors?
So you like pull out the Gnomish lineage book, and it's all in Gnomish, but by now you've been with Calbor a while. You know roughly what Nim looks like written in Gnomish. So you look for that symbol as you're going through, and you do indeed see quite a few entries in the book. You turn to the page, and you can't quite make out what it is, but fortunately, it's definitely the right page because it has at the top the name of the family, and then the name of that family as rendered in all of the main languages. And you see in common Nim, Gnim, and there's about 8 pages just devoted to like a chart almost of Nim, and then it occurs to you that Nim is just the name of the realm. So there's probably lots of people who have Nim as a surname, and there's no. Although there are pictures and portraits in it, of those there's none in the Nim section, if that makes sense. It's almost like this is a table of other names that people who use of Nim might go by.
Well, interesting. The Gnomish, the Gnomish script is the writing in Gnomish is in Dwarvish script. So if you understand Dwarvish and can read it, you could probably figure out what it says. If you don't understand what it actually means in Gnomish, if you talk like Dwarvish, for example. So you'd recognize the letters, and you could, you know, say it the way a dwarf would read it, basically.
Right.
It's
Okay.
like
You can phonetically.
It's like you can read a French word without knowing what it means, right? So a name might. You know, just a little thought. I just realized.
Fair enough. So you.
That's cool.
You pop the books back or keep them. It's up to you. Devon, you're on the hunt. You're on the hunt for wine.
I am.
You know that this room has a number of casks.
Yeah, but they're a bit bulky.
Yeah, a bit big. So you head to the kitchen, and you find some cooking wine. You find some unlabeled bottles of what you think is wine. Yeah, it's up to you if you want to give them the taste test. And then you're just about to give up hope as you make your way into the dining room, and you see a little cabinet credenza over here by the window. Very nice, very well
assumed
made.
that was the chaise longue.
Oh yeah, it kind of does look like that. And you go and you open it up, and you're confronted by the beautiful sight of
Drinks cabinet.
yeah, basically.
Are those little skulls on the backs of those chairs?
No, they're little rocks. I don't know what they are. These are pre-made assets.
Okay.
I bear no responsibility.
They're not intentionally.
No. They're just fancy chairs. So
I can dig that.
Nice
in the drinks cabinet, you find a selection of very fine wines. Let's say there's 10 bottles in there of various
How many
vintages.
would it be feasible to say that I could fit in my pack?
Well, you're used to carrying liquids, so I think you could comfortably carry 3.
Okay. And look at the label, then I take the oldest 3.
Yeah. You get some extremely old vintage wines.
Thank you very much.
Now, was there anything else in your pursuit of ransacking your employer's house?
Fools, girls, bros,
Pee on his bed.
Jacob's probably done. Like,
I'm good.
Yeah.
Jacob's a smuggler. He has stolen before, but he's not, quote unquote, a thief.
It's not his first response.
Yeah. He's not a
Tax
customer.
evasion
anyway,
is
like,
theft, Jacob.
if
It's a
he
duty.
thinks it's worthy to steal, he will steal, but, it's not like, he tries to make it not a habit.
So,
He knows the consequences sometimes.
it's
in
choosing
eyes,
the opportune and worthy moments
Yeah.
to steal.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, when it works.
So you have successfully survived the night in the now seemingly demon ghost-free vineyard, and it is, as I say, a very nice day. Still wet, puddles everywhere, and over in the distance you see, as you make your way towards it, the orphanage, looking not nice, because it's still a very old, not that well-kept building, but looking significantly less ominous and off-putting than when you first saw it on that rainy night, being chased by shadows. And as you approach,
Very nice.
the birds are chirping, you hear the sound of laughter, children playing, coming from inside. The windows are all open. And you...
Vile, evil.
Creepy laughter.
Devon's hand clutches the sock full of you knock on the door and it's opened. A chubby little freckled boy looks up at you. Oh, hello again, and just walks off, leaving the door wide open. You enter into the lobby. Again, it seems just a shade lighter. You hear some children singing in one of the classrooms. A song you don't know. It seems to be in Elvish.
Well, I would understand it. Sing it to me.
The lyrics go something along the lines of, where is my favourite hat? I don't know where I've put it. I'm sure it was my neighbour. He's always been jealous of it. Yeah, it's like a children's thing. And as you walk past, the doors open. You see the children like miming a hat as they sing the hat lyric. It's quite sweet. They're like the younglings, the little kids. You walk through. One of the older young women who works there, who's kind of Melody's age, she gives you a nod and a smile as she walks past carrying bundles of laundry. There's a general positives, and you hear the creak of the stairs and look behind you to see Helethria coming down, a small boy at her side holding his hand as he kind of cautiously goes down the steps. She gives you a big smile, an eyebrow raise that says, "I'll be with you in just a second," and goes off into a side room with a little boy who looks back at you, looking up, gives an uncertain look at you. And there's just general activity and movement.
This might be mean-spirited of me, but in this very moment, I wish I was a changeling, because you could do that unsettling visage thing and like fuck up your face really quickly, scare the kid.
Oh yeah, I need to get you guys away from this orphanage.
We're nice for a couple of days, and it turns sour.
I have a thing kind of like that.
Hell yeah.
So you head it. After a few seconds of just looking around, listening to this music, and in another classroom you hear a deeper adult voice asking something, and then someone saying something in response. You hear a, "Well, where the hell have you been?" You turn and see a rather miffed-looking Calbor looking up at you. I was absolutely worried sick.
Oh, Grindle, don't worry about us.
Yeah, thank you. That was mighty kind to be worried about us.
Grindle? No, I'm Calbor.
Sorry, yeah, that's what I said.
What I said. What do you mean?
He looks very confused at you. Yes. So they, Helethria said that you were okay and you were alive, which obviously I'm glad about. But you didn't have to leave me here. I thought you'd maybe, gone off without me.
Oh, well, we left you in one of the safest places we can think of.
Oh no, you're the employer. You're paying us, and we've Did we get paid yet? I don't think we. Wait.
I think he still owes us 50 gold at least, but
Yeah, you owe us money. We're not leaving till we get the money. Don't worry.
besides, not only
Yes.
are you our employer, but look at that smile. You're also our precious cargo.
He reluctantly smiles, as kind of a bashful. I can't stay mad at you. Well, you mustn't do it again. If you if you should let me know where you're going. At least until we get to Rhyll.
No, fair enough. We'll try to keep you informed.
Speaking of, I hear that everything's been resolved. Vis-a-vis the he looks around the children's classroom. The it kind of mimes like a scary face.
The what?
it's all
I don't
good.
follow.
The
No, I'm kidding.
shadow things in the sewers.
Yeah,
It's all fine. It's all
everything's good. Yeah.
Oh, good. And
going.
we will have to check the vineyard before we go.
We have.
Yeah, it's
That's
what we were
we're
doing.
doing throughout the night.
Yeah, we were investigating.
It's all good.
Oh,
All
well
clear.
done. Well done. I should have known that you'd be most diligent in carrying out your duty.
Fastidious.
Yes, quite. So I'll just go and get my things. I must admit I've quite had enough of children for a while. So
Fair.
I'll probably be waiting just outside while you conclude your business here.
Okay.
That's good. Yeah.
See you out there, little man.
Quite. And he just exits and goes and stands out. Devon, you do notice he looks back at you with a slightly concerned look on his face. But it's very fleeting. And then goes and stands out in the sun, out in front of the property.
Those
Why didn't I
derogatory
take
to
detect
Mary.
thoughts?
Quick, regret.
That's derogatory to Marty. Calling him little dude.
But
Oh, well, I mean, there are far worse things in the world. Me being derogatory, my dude.
he is pretty little.
Yeah, look at him. He's fucking adorable. What do you want me to do?
What do you want me to do? Eh?
Bibbidi pop.
What do you want me to do? Eh?
Italian hand movement.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, Helethria, after a short while, comes out and kind of looks like she's gonna try and give you a hug, but thinks thinks twice about it.
I'll give her a hug.
Oh, but it's and she kind of hugs back. It's very nice to see you too, boys. I'm glad that you've returned. Now, before you take Master Calbor away for quite a long time, I would hope. There's a few things that we could do with discussing. But first, you must come see Melody.
Right.
Yes.
So she
Of
leads
course.
you upstairs, and you're not too sure what to prepare yourself for. She was in a pretty bad state when I last saw her. But as you open the office door, you see Melody is up and about, organising papers over by where the sword was yesterday. And she looks over at the three of you, and she gives an instinctive smile, very broad, ear to ear, which then quickly fades into a look of embarrassment as she kind of walks over to you, and she specifically gives each of you a hug. Like, very heartfelt. She seems to be in pretty good condition considering what she's gone through. She has a bruise just under her right eye, assuming she bumped into something as you were bundling her out of the sewer. And Helethria, as she's making her way, just from hug to hug to hug, Helethria just says, "Well, I'll just go and get the deacon. He's just downstairs. Be back in a moment." As she heads out, and as she finishes, sorry, Karen.
How do you sleep last night? Any improvements?
I don't really remember. I just woke up here. It was, I think, a good sleep, a deep sleep, at least.
Yeah, well, good. Been through a hell of a lot.
It feels it, but I also feel a sense of, I think, optimism. But also,
That's good.
I'm afraid I also feel quite a bit of embarrassment. I don't remember what happened after I saw you in the sewers. It is all blank, but I do recall that I said some things that I did not mean. I did not want to say them, but
I gathered.
I just hope that you know that I wouldn't want to say or do anything to hurt or upset any of you.
No,
Inside
I'm sure we've all dealt with possessions before. We know not to hold
Inside
a
check.
Are you doing an insight check?
Yes. Just in case, you know.
Oh, and it's
Jake
a good
has been
one as well.
fucked over a few times before. You know.
Okay.
Yeah.
Wasn't expecting that.
He knows when a person's backtracking on you know,
Okay.
when they said some shit and then they're like, "Oh, I didn't mean it. I really didn't
Right,
mean it.
okay,
I actually
yeah.
mean really good to you." You know, like
Um,
you know, trying to get out of it.
Oh, did I say that we'd split the money? Oh, no.
Yeah, yeah, exactly.
So you get a sense as you're staring into this young woman's eyes, 100% earnest, and you get the sense that as she's looking from each of you, you in particular, she's like a hair's breadth away from breaking down in tears as she thinks about what she said and done. Entirely 100% implacably genuine a response and remorse.
Jacob squeezes her like when she hugs.
Yeah.
I knew that you. I like that you're the one who isn't trying to burn down the orphanage. So, yeah, yeah, it's entirely genuine. And as she kind of breaks away from the three of you, she just like puts a knuckle of on her index finger of her right hand up to her eye. Not a tear, but you know, she's upset. But then she, seeing your forgiveness, brings it back to the optimistic attitude that she had when you initially walked in and she saw you. Can I get you anything? It's a bit early, perhaps, but we have, well, Helethria has a range of libations. Or water, if you prefer.
No, probably could do with some water.
And there's like a tankard there. It's not like she's off on a trek or anything. You know, it is quite funny. Well, I think it's funny. You may not. When you left yesterday, I said to myself, when I see you next, I will ask if I can come with you.
Mm.
And see the world and, you know, live more of a life than I have. But since I no longer feel that dark presence, I have changed my mind. I, for the first time, feel I know what I want to do.
All right. Well, I was just going to say, you're free to come along if you.
And
You know, I was thinking that yesterday myself, that you could have benefited from seeing the world a little bit, but you know, you do you.
I think that is what makes it funny. That for the first time I have friends who I could go with. But also for the first time I know my place, for now at least, is here. I have said to Hilethria that I want her to train me to take over someday. And to run the orphanage. So that I can help the children the same way that you have helped us all.
That's great.
Yeah.
Well, if you ever need, you just come looking for us, and you know.
She gives another genuine smile. I will, and I am glad to know that I have such brave friends. And you have to come back, of course. The children would love to hear your stories. And
Someday.
I would love to hear what you've been up to as well, of course.
We'll see
I
when
look
it's
forward to
convenient.
telling you those stories.
Would you like to see the book I got, children? Just at that, Hilethria and the deacon enter the room. Melody, gives another nod to each of you, and then she's leaving. Thanks you again, and heads off, nodding again to the deacon and Hilethria as they come in. Hilethria takes a seat, picks up the water, and then looks over to a desk where you know the rye is stashed, and then shrugs and pours a glass of water. Seemingly decided it's still a bit too early.
Fair enough.
And yeah, she sits down with the deacon. What did the deacon sound like? I think he was like this, wasn't he? Well, boys, you've done a fantastic job. Truly, we are deeply indebted to you.
Well, I mean, it's hard to turn a blind eye to orphans being endangered by a shadow creature, so happy to help.
I'd like to think so, but I'm afraid that heroes such as yourselves are becoming harder to find. People are more concerned with self-interest and hoarding wealth or personal vendettas than, travelling and just helping those in need as they used to. It's refreshing to see. You have my sincerest thanks.
Yeah, of course.
That's nice.
Can't always be wrapped up in your own nonsense.
Quite.
Oh, by the way, would you mind hooking us up with some more of those holy water? Just a little vial or two. It was quite useful. I'd like to keep that sort of thing on me. I've never really used anything like it, but
imagine it is, but I'm afraid that's my entire stock. I'll happily prepare some more so that when you're next in the area, and keep it for you.
alright. Well, yeah, if
Hopefully, when
We'll-
we're next
we'll
in the
cross
area,
that-
we won't need
yeah.
it. But
we'll
then,
cross that
Jesus, your
bridge
guys'
when we
luck.
get to it.
As soon as you guys leave. Agasu's back.
Agasu.
So
Agassiz was pretty sus.
I guess us, am I right?
oh dear. Terrible.
Yeah.
That I see that you've spoken already with Melody. She told you her plans?
To stay,
To
yeah?
stay.
Yes. I must confess, originally I was going to suggest that she go with you, given what we spoke about previously around the value of her abilities should it become commonly known. But I suspect that with the spirit vanquished, her control will increase without
I hope so.
the interference of the malign and demonic. But my suggestion was originally that you take her to a fairly respectable, I think, wizard in Rhyll, who may have had some insight on the matter. But as she's staying here, that seems safer. I must request, though, that if you still want to speak to him about this, you keep it as quiet as possible. Avoid discussing what you've seen here in public, especially in the large
All right.
towns.
Shall we talk to him about it, but not tell him who we're talking about?
He's
That the best?
familiar. I have consulted with him in the past, many
okay.
years ago now, on the matter. He being the local arcane specialist.
What's his name, by the way?
What was it? Felric.
Yeah.
Isambard. Jolly enough old fellow. Fairly well known in these parts, but yes, if you do speak to him, he'll be familiar with the case, but upon updating him, be careful who hears what you have to say. It is one thing hearing that a 5-year-old has dreams of things that turn out to be true, another to say that a 22-year-old woman has high levels of prescience.
When's the last time we saw Fabric?
Oh,
Isn't bad.
2 years, I suspect.
Funny enough, it was at a vineyard.
I ran across him.
The body, the composition, did that match like under 2 years? I'm not very familiar with it myself, but I imagine maybe my character would be a little bit more.
Yeah, you'd have a sense that probably under 2 years, yeah.
Yeah.
Because it's just out there in the open, in a sewer with bacteria all over the place,
Yeah.
and rats and whatnot. So 2 years seems more than enough for it to be picked clean.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, there's a pretty good chance that. Do we? Yeah.
You're not thinking that the skeleton was Felwick, right?
I just sort of give the deacon a kind of yikes look.
How big was the skeleton? Felric is himself a gnome. There aren't that
was it?
many of them.
This was a person size, a human size.
Yes, unlike those filthy gnomes.
What was it?
Fucking gnomes.
This was a standard humanoid male template corpse.
Medium creature.
Oh,
Also, if I remember
Well-
correctly, didn't the note tell? Wasn't it clear that it was a smuggler?
Yeah, it was someone that. Well, it was suggested that it'd be someone that was
An
hired.
associate of
Yes.
Isambard Felrix.
Yeah, not the
Ah.
tiny man himself.
Right.
But
Okay.
you found
hopefully.
a body in the sewers. It's very
Yeah,
curious.
there was somebody.
Did you find anything else of interest? I believe you said something about a rat.
What?
Rat? Yeah, no, there were plenty of rats, and then just kind of look at the party like wide eyes.
Well, that makes sense for a sewer. We were planning on boarding over the entryway. Unless you think we should go investigate what's down there. I'll be honest.
Yeah.
I mean,
the-
it's
Probably worth boarding things up.
Quite.
Yeah,
I
I'll be
think that may
honest,
be best.
Yeah.
We don't
You
want
wouldn't
children
want
finding
anybody to
it.
get sick.
Yes. Quite. I'm glad that you concur. And he finishes his drink. Well, I think, unless I can be of any further assistance to you boys, I will go about starting the consecration ritual. Although hopefully we don't need it, but better safe than sorry.
Yeah, I do recommend you do it from now on. A little bit more, yeah, just make sure you're on the schedule, just in case.
And as he gets up and thanks Halathria again, he walks towards the door and says, "Oh, and boys, being friends with devils may seem cool and stylish, but it rarely turns out for the best. Consider your immortal souls." And he gives you a bow and heads off.
Not a friend. I didn't choose it.
It didn't even choose
kinda
you.
mutters.
You just kind of came along for the ride.
Yeah. Yeah, Jacob just kind of mutters under his breath, really.
So, I've dealt with the deacon. Halathria, looking tired, but again, still glad that things are over. That kind of weariness that comes from an ordeal. Well, boys, was there anything else? I don't mean to make it look as if I'm rushing you on, but I'm quite keen to return to some semblance of normalcy. If I can help in any way, then please do let me know.
Is there anything?
No, I mean, as long as everyone here is taken care of, and I believe in the capability of your hand, Celesta. So, I think we're good to go as soon as Nim is.
Yeah.
Another nod. She finishes her drink, gets up, walks over, just appraises the three of you. You boys be good. You can do a lot of pleasant things in life, and you can do a lot of not so pleasant. And sometimes you have to do a bit of both. But I hope the best for you. I really do.
I'll give it a go, I guess.
Yeah. Give it our best shot, if nothing else.
And she opens the door and gestures, walks you out. Devon, as you're leaving, you feel a coldish press of glass in your hand as you're handed the last third of the bottle of rye. And next time you come this way, Master Devon, I expect you to bring the refreshments. Sure, we'll have much to talk about.
I don't doubt that. I look forward to it.
And then finally, as you're at the door, it turns to Jacob. Turns to Temerity, sorry. And as for you, if you ever get tired of adventuring, then if you fancy giving back a bit, helping some children find their way, we could use someone with a bit of street smarts and savvy who knows a thing or two.
Yeah, well, maybe. Not gonna lie, I have thought of what'll happen when I'm done running around. But, plenty of children out there who need help. I think this area might be covered. Plenty more in my city that need me.
And this area might be covered. You can sense the genuine happiness that she has at your acknowledgement of her work.
Hell yeah.
And then just as you're going out the door, Jacob, you get a tug on your elbow. And it's one of the shadow spirits.
Kick
sorry,
it!
sorry.
You are very on edge, Master
Sorry.
Jacob. No, that's fine. You take the time you need and you get the rest you need. But don't forget about Melody. Do come back sometime. I know that it would mean a lot to her.
Yeah.
Yeah, man of many words. Calbor is kind of pacing out front. He sees you. He kind of hitches up his little sack over his shoulder, ready to go. And Lethria waves you off. You make your way down into this bright, beautiful valley that you're only now really seeing in its full glory. And as you make your way down, you look back. You see this old but storied building with lots of history and hopefully some good times and future ahead of it. And on the balcony, you see a young blonde-haired woman waving as you leave and head onto the road to Rhyll.
I thought you were gonna say you see a shadow creature waving.
Just giving you the finger. So
Give a little wave back.
shall we take a 3-minute break? And pick up on the road to Rhyll.
Yes.
Okay.
We shall return.
Oh, they're back.
Okay, we're back, and we have just concluded saying goodbye to everyone at the orphanage, making our way onto the main road to Rhyll, to the east that you're heading to. Now, the route that you'll be taking consists of two main parts. The first is the valley that you're in now, which is very farmy, very verdant, and very, bucolic and calming. It's a nice place. You then go through a ancient forest and come out the other side in the township of Rhyll. You are greeted by a pretty warm day. It's very nice. It's late autumn in terms of seasons. Pardon me. Mm-hmm. And because it's a main trading route, the road that you're walking is very well kept. and frequently patrolled by both Imperial soldiers and local constables, who are just, keeping an eye on stuff. There's still puddles at the edges of the road, however, due to the intense rain that you've had. And when you do occasionally, wander off onto a area of bare ground, it's a bit soggy, a bit squidgy. But you make your way, chatting, Calbor asking questions around what happened the previous day, explaining what he would have done were he there, and how you might improve in the future. But all in all, your spirits are high. There's a blue sky, the sound of birds everywhere. You see fields that have either just been harvested or in the process of being harvested, and all around you little hamlets dotted across the landscape, and the yellow of rapeseed and wheat blowing gently in the breeze as you make your way down this road.
We are not on the. We're just at the.
Yeah, at the orphanage. Hold on. So we don't have a map for the road because it is a mighty, mighty road. But I can. But picture very mind map, very very nice countryside, southwest England, in the late autumn. For those of you who know what that looks like, and if not, then Kansas, but less flat. Kansas
if not,
is
guess, motherfucker.
it's very the Shire around here.
Okay.
Yeah, is there
Like Ohio if it wasn't shit.
Oh yeah. I was thinking,
No.
where do they grow stuff in America?
I mean, Ohio is either farmland or city, like kicked on top of each other.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. Fucking middle California. It doesn't matter. Yes, I know what you're talking about.
Cool.
Familiar enough with England, thankfully.
Yeah, you chat as you go along. If there's anything in particular that you wish to discuss.
Man, small towns are fucking crazy. Is that normal? Is that out of the ordinary?
What do you mean?
For small towns. I'll admit I spent most of my time in the city, except for when I, have little sojourns, but for the most part in cities.
Oh yeah,
Mostly on boats, mate.
Yeah, you're the country boy here. Is that normal?
Who's the country boy?
You, I would assume.
Me?
He's a boat bitch and I'm a city bitch.
Oh, I'm a city bitch.
Oh. Man, we have all fucking what cut out for us then if we're traveling the country.
Road. I've been on the road here and there, but
Yeah, okay.
I've been around. I guess I've probably been to some villages and towns to Mercedeville, but
Okay.
it's like this.
Okay, well, hopefully not every place we stop by is haunted by a shadow creature. It's a good way to build up the strength, though. Yeah. I hope we continue fighting stuff like that, though. That was pretty interesting.
This was a first for me, but then again, I don't really make friends with rich people usually in a way that I go to their houses or anything. And their estates. I just make friends with rich people who can sell me things that I can sell for more. Or rich people that will buy things.
Yeah, fair enough.
That's about as deep as I kept it up until now.
Yeah.
As you carry on your chatting, Calbor raises an eyebrow as you're discussing rich people and selling things and whatnot.
Selling rich people. Yeah.
Selling rich people. Oh God, what have I gotten myself into? You are walking along low fenced areas, adjacent farms that run right up to the road. All very well kept, very managed. You see two figures a little way up ahead. You see a man and a young boy who appear to be working on one of these fences.
Oh, how quaint. You see, that's some real countryside shit right there. You won't see that in town at all. I mean, well, technically we have this area, but like, you know, people are busy there and the job's rather important. You don't want to fuck unless you need to hide a body, but in that case, you better go down to the sewers and use one of the cubes, you know? Dissolves everything.
Is Rhyll
Anyway, that's
visible
nice.
from here? Or...
Cowboy's like just looking up at you out of the corner of his eye, not making eye contact, and just carrying on walking. What was the question there? Sorry, Carl.
Is Rhyll visible from it?
So from where you're currently, you're in the valley, so no, you can't see Rhyll.
Okay.
You can't see the forest just yet either.
I guess as we walk past, howdy, how far is Rhyll from here onwards? Are we close?
They both look up at you. The first, the child, and the father. The father seems to be struggling to try and tie this this fence together, and you notice a number of sheep behind him, just milling about in the field doing sheep things. He kind of looks at the thing, realizes he can't immediately get it working, and sets it down, stands up and straightens his back, stretches a little bit, puts his hand on his son's shoulder just to bring him a little bit closer. Well, Rhyll, that's you're about 8 hours, I suppose.
Oh, that's far. All right.
It's a bit of a path,
I was
but
hoping we were
it's
closer.
well,
That's all right.
well, I suppose it depends the rate that you're walking.
We would be walking faster if not for the. And he just looks at the gnome, looks back.
Yeah, I know what it is to have a little one slow you down. You all have a good day now.
Yeah, likewise.
Thanks.
He gives a
Good
nod
luck,
and
good
too.
luck on what you're doing.
goes back to struggling
Uh-huh.
to get this. And the little boy's trying to help, but he can't really.
Yeah.
He's trying to.
He's more just kind of holding on to the piece of wood.
Yeah. But
Thinking
he's
he's doing
watching and learning as the older man. And as you walk, you see that there's quite a few fence panels. They're not really panels, but strings of fencing that are a bit worn and damaged and could potentially see a sheep escape through.
Does it look like wear and tear, or something big knocked them over?
Probably wear and tear, in all honesty.
Okay.
The whole area is covered in these little thin rail fences that aren't particularly strong and can only keep in basically stupid animals that can't figure out how to get over or under them. And it seems that the pasture that they're in goes on for quite a while. You hear as you're walking off, you hear the two of them talking. The father's deeper voice and the child's smaller voice, and the father saying something in frustration around just trying to get this to work. But it's a nice day. It's still early.
Okay.
Sorry, were you going to say something then, Deslin?
Yeah.
Cut you off.
I was gonna offer to help him, but he can do it.
Yeah,
The father bonding learning thing. Yeah.
when you looked at him, he had the weathered look of someone who's been ranching or farming for a long time.
Okay.
You carry on for a while, the sun's now coming up to its midway point in the sky, it being autumn. You've been travelling for, let's say, 2 hours. You're a fair bit of the way there. And as you reach the crest of the pathway, you see, as it comes into view, this forest in front of you that seems to spread out. It's like an oil spill of green either side of the road, and the road kind of goes down and then carries on for a while and then disappears into this little mold growth of ancient forest. And beyond it, you can see just the outlines of a small settlement and a little tower sticking up above the skyline of that little settlement. I'm assuming, carry on?
We do.
Yeah. Does it look reachable within this day?
Yeah, it's a few more hours walk at least, but it's a fairly busy, well-travelled road. So there are like spaces set aside on the side of the road that are like brushed dirt kind of environments, little fire pits where people have obviously stopped before. You pass quite a few people actually as the day grows a little bit longer. You see traders with carts, mounted military patrol heading through. It makes quite a bit of noise and clatter as it comes over the road, because the road changes from predominantly cobblestone. Some areas are just bare dirt. These areas often have a flooding issue where there's like rain collected from yesterday, so you have to go around them, but it's a big road. There's plenty of space. You see families, people carrying various items both directions. It's for rural area that we're talking about, the time zone the time area that we're talking about, it's one of the busier days you'd expect to see. Still nothing compared to the cities that you're used to, but you see a lot of new people. And as you're making your way, you're making good time. You approach the forest. And
Are we camping tonight, or are we just pushing on straight through? Because if we're camping, then it's probably better to do it at the edge of the forest.
Yeah, might as well.
You still have
Yeah.
about 4 and a bit hours of sunlight.
And how
But-
far
It's
away
fair.
is the town?
So the town, it's hard to say.
We'll
From when
probably
you
get there when it's dark, right? Like if we
yeah,
push on.
you'd arrive
Yeah.
in the evening. Whether that's early evening or late evening is hard to say.
Yeah, we can make it by the night. It's just a matter of what you prefer. What about you? Oh fuck.
Temerity, Calbo.
Then
Garble.
Well, I think I'd rather sleep in an inn than another night camping.
no. Not the best experience camping so far, is it?
Yes, hopefully we won't be bothered by any immortal evil spirits.
Yeah,
But I would quite like a comfy bed.
that's fair. We should push on then.
Alright then. I agree. Let's.
Well, this forest looms large in front of you, takes up most of your view. Over to your left and right, though, you can see these fields that go on seemingly forever. And you have, just off to the side, as you're kind of looking around, a bit distance away from the road, you see 3 small figures. stood around
Mm.
what appears to be a fence up against the forest.
If I slow down a little bit, if I like sort of focus my eyes in a bit, what can I tell?
So that they're out of earshot, unfortunately. But in terms of what you can see, they're at first you think it's children playing, but then you see from the confidence of their movements and their
Gnomes?
their way of working, they're a bit big for gnomes. You suspect they're halflings,
Ah.
and they appear to be gesturing or discussing something to do with this fence.
What is it with people and fences around this area, eh?
Hey, people like their boundaries.
Oh, yeah, I can respect that. Alright.
Yeah, well, I mean, if you're curious, you can go talk to him.
I mean, we got a little bit of daylight left. I don't really want to be straying off the path for some halflings.
Yeah, then let's keep to the course then.
Okay, so you enter the forest road. It's a pretty nice road. It meanders. It goes through. It goes up. It goes down. It's a bit harder trek than the country road that you've been on. But in the area that you're in, at least, the trees are fairly wide apart. It's mostly the old ancient trees that have been left at this point. A good amount of sunlight's coming through. Bird song is everywhere as you enter. You get the smell of pine and autumn foliage. There's splashes of orange and yellows, and then the evergreens. It's a significantly nicer place than the sewers that you've been hanging around in.
I would hope so.
At least that's what it says on the promotional material.
Significantly nicer than a
Nice.
sewer.
Um,
Okay, well, at least it's significant.
So you see, again, a fair number of people. It seems that there must be a settlement nearby of some kind. Even like these people surely aren't walking all the way to Haven. So you suspect that there's like little tiny villages spread, and farms and homesteads spread around the area that can justify the number of people. And as you progress, about an hour goes in, the sun is starting to set. You can see the light and the shadows moving as time passes, casting these long, dark recesses in the various hills and little cuts in the terrain. And you see the number of people starts to diminish. And the birds become less varied. Still a lot of birds. And you get the sense that it's older forest that you're in now. Like it was old forest at the start, but it's the kind of forest where it's obviously
Trees are thicker.
grown over time. Yeah, it's thicker. It's less well managed now. As you look off to the left and right, you see more underbrush, which, I mean, it's a big job to keep a forest neat. And you
So we were like in teen forest, and now we're in young adult forest.
yeah.
Okay.
Yes. And as you carry on, as I say, people become fewer and fewer, and you're approached by an old woman. She's walking, seemingly you're on the left side of the road. She's walking on the right side of the road, coming the opposite direction. And she seems to see you and makes a bit of a diagonal beeline towards you. A little hunched over old grandma, big red shawl with a hood, a few bags attached.
Before she gets up to us, just lean over towards the other two and be like, okay, hopefully just an old lady. But also, be careful of scam artists and hags.
Scam artists I can handle. Hags?
Yeah. Let's pray it's not a hag.
I mean, as she comes to you see her weathered, wrinkly old face and bulbous nose with warts on it. She looks very haggy.
I pull out 14 names.
But she's like, in the streaks of daylight, and although the environment is becoming significantly darker than when you started and more ambery rather than bright light, she comes over quite excited, furtive in her movements. Oh no, dears, you can't go that way.
Why not?
Well, but it's flooded. It's flooded, isn't it?
It's flooded.
They've just sent me back. I've got to walk all the way back over now. Wasted all.
How bad is it?
Oh, it's bad. The soldiers. They said. No, Granny, you can't come here. It's flooded. It's everywhere. They've closed the whole road. Oh, it's awful.
Did you see the flood?
Yes. Oh, it was very big. Horrific.
Do you think a bunch of younger individuals like us would be able to go across it?
And she looks you over. And what you trying to say that I'm not young? Well, you three. No. It's too much. Happens at least once a year after a heavy rain. But I wasted another hour travelling there, and then an hour back here, and now I've got to go home. But actually, you might be even not so much. And she points at Calbor. But you three, I reckon you could make it through the woods. The old footpath. Just head south, and you'll end up in Rhyll. But him.
Jacob's just like furrowed brow, looks at the party like, what's going on here?
I'm gonna insight this.
I want to say the same thing. Like this is, I'm getting weird vibes of this. Oh yeah, you can't go that way. Believe me, this path through the forest will lead you where you need to go. I promise.
And if you get lost, some of my bandit associates will help you.
Okay, so
Can I do an insight as well? I don't want to
go for it.
do everyone doing the insight whatever, but
Ooh, 23. Okay.
This is why Jacob does insight.
Yeah.
So, is there any of the particular facts that you're questioning, or are you more so after her intent?
Yeah, her intent, I believe, like.
Okay. So you get the sense that she's keeping something back. But what she has said, as she's saying it, that there was a flood, that you could make it through the woods, that Calbor might have trouble, all seem as if she's being genuine. When she talks about the soldiers, though, you get a sense that there's embellishment. And equally, when she talks about how big the flood is, you suspect, as dramatic old women sometimes want to do, there may be some slight, but yeah, nothing. Several of the things that she said seem genuine, and you get the sense that she's like correct. That
she's embellishing a little bit.
yeah,
maybe, but
the kind of things that you could maybe argue. Yes, she thought she was telling the truth. On them.
yeah. Got ya.
So we killing her?
Yeah, but yeah. In conclusion, your general sense is not entirely trustworthy.
Yeah, it's just an old lady, and she might know exactly. She might not know exactly what's up. Which bath did you say? Exactly.
Oh, it's about let me remember. About 50 feet up the road, and then on your right there's an old oak tree, and you follow the path. It's where the old hunting grounds used to be, but it's not used anymore. And if you just carry on through there, then you end up in the other side of the woods. It's where we used to go when I was a girl. Oh.
I appreciate that. We're gonna check this out anyway, but nice to know a way around if we need it.
Oh, well, suit yourself, but it's an hour out your way.
Appreciate it.
Young people never listen anymore.
And she kind of grumbles as she kind of waves you off, and starts slowly making her way back the way that you've come.
Sorry, I just wanted to get rid of her. What are we doing? What do you think?
I'm just interested in getting the will, so I don't know.
Let's give it a go.
Okay.
I'm sure we can manage camping in the woods if we're forced to do it, but well, no harm in trying, I guess.
Okay. If it is a trap, then we can loot the bodies.
Yeah,
That's true.
right.
All right. Well, possible trap it is.
So, which route are you taking?
Just following the road.
Just following the road.
Jacob's gonna try and remember this area a little bit. See if he can like make a mental image of like this sort of turn or whatever, so you can remember where this path that she mentioned is. Like
Okay.
maybe
yeah.
some little special tree to look for or anything. You know, like things like that. A combination of things, hopefully. You know.
Yes. Okay. Yeah. You make your way
Try and make some memory.
carrying on along this path. It's getting darker. You see an old oak tree, and then what looks like a little sub path going off to the right. Which you think must be the one that the old lady was mentioning.
Yeah. Yeah, I'll try and remember like the shape of the road around this area, and then like any other special, like maybe there's like a cluster of bushes or like anything specific, maybe like a small tree next to a big tree or something.
Okay. Yeah. You've got a pretty
anything of the
good
sort.
sense of it in your mind.
Right.
It's pretty firmly in there, so you're confident you can find this area when you come back, if you come back. So
That's great.
you carry on down. The noise of the birds becomes lighter. You don't see any more people. The road becomes darker as you're going along, wilder on all sides. There's still some late afternoon light low on the horizon, creating like glare as you pass through these trees.
When's
And-
the last time you travelled here, Cowboy?
Oh, well, a long time. Years. Decades, perhaps.
You remember anything around this area or
But
around the forest?
I tend to, and he's kind of looking up at the forest, and he's hearing the birds. He's hearing what to him sound like more ominous noises. Like a large crow can be a problem for a gnome. So,
Right.
No.
he's like walking a bit closer to you than he was at the start of the day. Usually I travel in a carriage, with a caravan or an entourage. This is my first time traveling by foot. I know it's a very old area. I'd heard about this forest, but I always just saw it as the little spiky bit on the map next to my vineyard. It has its charm, I suppose, but I'll be glad when we're at Rhyll. And you carry on. You eventually come to an area where you see a shimmer across the road as low light is coming through the forest and scattering across this fairly big puddle. This is seemingly the flooding that we were on about. Well, the old lady was on about. And you see as you approach it, it's really not that bad. There's space to squeeze around. You have to go off into the trees a little bit, but only a few feet up onto like the raised bank of where the tree is. You could probably jump over some of the narrow parts of it. And in fact, it looks like most of the flooding has happened over to your left, in where the road dips down and goes into almost like a little swamp or morass area in the forest. The old lady seemed to have been exaggerating quite a bit, and you don't see any sign of any soldiers.
Well, let's hope that this is what she was talking about, because in that case, it's just as I thought. She wouldn't have been able to get across this. Naturally.
Have we seen the soldiers she mentioned?
No soldiers whatsoever.
Where are the men?
Well, I don't know.
That's what Temerity
I don't
says
know why
whenever
would
he
she
enters a
lie
new
like
place.
that.
Hell yeah.
I don't know why she would
Devin's
just lie
surveying
like
the
that.
scene in a very different way.
Surveying the scene.
You're not looking for dick? I don't relate.
There's no men here. I like my chances.
Right, dating strategies aside, what would you like to do with the puddle?
Yeah, I think we'll try and go over it, like go into the trees slightly, just kind of try and circle as much as possible.
Okay. Can I get a perception check from everyone, please?
Sure.
Yeah.
You
Keep within sight of the
Right.
road, obviously. Just make
And
it
make
as
it-
little as possible of a detour, right?
I like to ask to specifically look out for
Oof.
motherfuckers.
Motherfucker.
Yeah,
that?
like people are trying to ambush us or something.
Oh, okay.
Maybe
Yes.
the gods are like bandits that turned her away because she wasn't a good mark.
Maybe.
But I'm just rather fancy, and we have a king with us, so.
Okay. So, Devon, you go first, and you kind of you use the trees to just give you a bit of stability, and you're able to fairly easily hop up on this little bank, make your way across, jump down to the other side with a bit of a triumphal feeling, having conquered the minor victory that you've dealt with. Performance. Oh yeah, definitely you did performance
Oh,
instead
my
of
bad.
perception. I didn't notice that.
Well, my performance is better than my perception anyway, so let's go with that.
We'll take the lower number.
Is that proper perception for you? Yep, that sounds
Okay.
right.
Deslin, Temerity is also able to quite easily and swiftly make his way up the bank over with a bit more grace than Devon, but you land equally as you look ahead. You can kind of see that the road dips down. You can't see how far it actually goes, and there's no sign of bandits or soldiers.
Okay.
Jacob, as you see the other two jump over, you get the idea to just test the depth of the water, and you see that at the edge it's very shallow, as in you could probably just walk over it.
Mm-hmm.
And would you still like to go up the bank, or would you like to walk over?
Yeah, I'll test it. I'll test it. Obviously, I don't. I'm not going to jump into the puddle, but
Yeah, you successfully walk into this very shallow thing, but because of how shallow it is and because of the light, it just looks like you're walking on water as you go. So it's very impressive. But as you're about halfway, you see something catches your eye. Out to your left, where the water has kind of flown and has built up in the forests, you see a figure stood in the middle of the flood. You can see an AI-generated version of what that looks like on the stream.
yeah. Does it do anything? Is it just standing there? Or?
It's just standing there.
How far away am I from the others?
The others are like 10 feet to your right.
I'm just like, hey.
What?
Yeah.
Hold on. There's or is that somebody standing there? And I'll just sort of like, not point like, arm reach out point, but like kind of, next to my belly, kind of just point in a direction a little bit, just with the hand.
The only thing
most
worse than
likely.
creepy forest shit is creepy swamp shit.
What is that?
Creepy swamps?
Is that a person or?
I hope so. Doubt it, but I hope so.
What kind
Doubt
of
it.
figure is it? Like what can I make out?
So you see what appears to be roughly humanoid. You can't quite make out details of race. It's
Height or anything?
standard-ish height. Maybe it's hunched over a bit. It looks like there's lots of material on it, like fabric.
Can we go back to the haunted sewer? I'm better in sewers.
Should I shout or should we just carry on?
Try a new fireball.
To fireball. Anyone have a fireball?
Does it look like if I carry on over the puddle and leave the puddle, will I be able to see it from there, or does it look like I'm only able to see it from where I'm standing?
Well, the guys next to you are not in the puddle. They're a bit to your right, and they can seemingly see it.
But like if I carry on, like get off the puddle on the road, like without getting off the road, like if I just carry on, is there like a wide angle where I can see it from? Or is it just like
it's
in
pretty
between the bushes
open.
now? Like
It's pretty open where you
open.
are.
Okay. So I'll slowly sort of make my way out of the puddle, and as soon as I'm sort of out of the puddle, I'm sort of glancing at it, keeping an eye on it. And when I leave the puddle, I'll just sort of, hey, Hey,
Howdy.
hey there. You alright there? Hello? And it's sort of like start quieter, but kind of get a bit louder. See if I get any reaction.
So as you're kind of shouting, you hear the sound of birds. Well, you hear the sound of one bird, because it just occurs to you that you haven't heard the birds for a while.
Mm-hmm.
You hear just a whistling call of a bird. Nothing else.
I don't like this. Why are you just standing there in the water?
As you're getting increasingly loud, it moves slowly.
Okay.
Seems to...
How does it move?
It turns. But as it turns, you can't quite make how it's turning out. It doesn't have a defined shape. But when you look at it, you see legs. And you see some kind of torso. But they don't quite make sense as you're staring. And it
Oh, this is fucked up.
slowly starts to move off. Further down the flooded area.
Away.
And off into the trees and shrubs to the right of where it currently is.
Alright.
And disappears.
Hands up if you want to pick up the pace a little bit. And Jacob just
Will
sort of
picking
raises
up
his
the
hand a
pace
little
take
bit.
us away from that thing?
I hope so. Will it?
Will it?
Well, it's disappeared. You
Like away from that direction, if we carry on.
yeah. So that's off left. If you're on the road looking straight ahead towards Rhyll, it's off on the left.
Mm-hmm.
It's not on the road effectively.
Stay on the path.
You guys
Yeah,
don't want to
let's
make a
look.
new forest friend?
You do so well. With
I'm not
forests.
leaving the path. Let's get the hell out of here. Yeah, we. I think we're gonna walk.
Okay.
Carry on.
While we're walking, I turn to Cowboy and be like, do you know the names Birchwood and Breeze? Or Brickwood and Breeze? Birchwood and Breeze. Birchwood and Breeze.
Yes, I do. They're a solicitor's firm. What? Why?
No particular reason.
And he gives you the same confused look that he gave you before.
Okay. What was that?
It was what?
Well, we saw a strange, ominous figure in the woods, and then you asked me about my family's solicitors.
I don't think the two are related.
He gives you a very skeptical. So let me rolling insight for Galbor. Who is this person I'm alone with in the woods?
You're not
What-
alone. All
what-
of his friends
what-
are going. Vastly
His
outnumbered.
well-armed friends. Why does he want to know about my family wealth and those who manage it?
Those who manage it.
Yeah, Cabell kind of carries on with you, but he's standing a bit closer to Jacob than
Why?
Devon now.
ominous forests aside, we should be there soon, right? It's getting quite dark.
Let's push it. Let's push on.
You
Yeah, then.
carry on. The forest gets increasingly darker. The path before you, somewhat less managed. You're really in the heart of the forest now. On either side, it's just thick shrubbery, and you can't see that far in most of the directions off the road.
It's lamp time.
Probably a good idea. You lamp up, and as much as the lamp gives you some semblance of comfort, the shadows that it casts off into these forests on the other side of you is somewhat disconcerting. You still don't hear the same bird song, but that one noise, the seems to be following you as you proceed through the forest.
Now, see, this is why I like devils more than fae. Devils, you know what you're dealing with. They're straightforward. They try to screw you, but they don't play. Playing is what's disconcerting.
You carry on. You hear the usual forest noises as it starts to get dark in the true sense. Sun dips below the horizon, leaving your lights brighter than the light coming into the forest. You shine it from side to side, you see the shadows play and stretch onto canvases of thin, spindly trees in the distance as far as you can see. The same noise. Sometimes it's on your left, sometimes it's on your right. Either way, it seems to be following you. Calbor is right in between the three of you now. He's silent, but he's obviously not happy as he's going. He seems to be muttering something to himself. You can make out easily that it's just almost there. Oh, we're almost there. And you carry on. Same thing every so often. Rustling occasionally comes from deeper in the woods. You shine your lights to the right after a while, and you see a number of amber orbs staring back at you.
Oh.
As more lights are brought out, you see it's foxes.
Oh.
Small number of them. They scamper off. It repeats. Same process. You get an impending feeling of dread as you walk through. And it's a while before you hear anything else. And then you hear the same bird call, but it sounds different. It sounds wrong. It's slower. It's longer. It starts off as a bird call, but it ends up not being a noise that a bird can make.
Why can't our travels just be normal?
It becomes a
How do anyone get anywhere?
How are we this unlucky?
the
How do people do things? Jesus.
the transforms as it echoes through the forest into a low bass. You recognize this, Jacob, from your travels. It's a noise similar to a moose or some kind of ungulate. Very deep, very low, but with that brassy undertone that I can't replicate because I'm not an animal.
Yeah.
And it happens again. This kind of loud, low register that seems to reverberate through the forest.
We need to pick up the pace a little bit.
What was it?
I don't know. It sounds like a moose, but who knows what it is?
Yeah.
Let's
Let's
just get
charge-
moving then.
You
Guys,
picking up the
blindly
pace?
forward.
I think
Okay.
so. To like a semi-fast, brisk
Okay.
walking away,
You-
but
you-
like
Cool.
I'm still keeping like I'm happy to take the front, and I have my eyes open. Like I have never been this vigilant,
You're
except
picking-
maybe when ghosts were around. But
You're picking up the pace. You're getting a fairly good clip to you. The trees start to thin out a little bit. The moon is now visible in the sky, casting that same blue light frosting, like on a cold morning that you saw on the vineyard. It's still dark on either side. You're still hearing the transforming into this low, and the ratio starts to change. The whistle becomes less, the bellow becomes greater. You hear the rustling on your left,
Yeah.
far off, but it's something big.
oh,
You crest a hill. This movement far off, it's a kind of slow, ponderous movement. It's not rapid, it's not frantic, but it's not secretive, it's not quiet. Something is moving in the same direction as you, out in the forest, and behind you. You no longer hear the bird call. How fast are you going?
not running, but like a fast walk, right?
Okay.
How fast is the thing moving? Like sounding like.
It's hard to say. You just hear the crunching and the crashing, but it's, as I say, it's slow. It's deliberate. It's something
Okay.
heavy forcing itself through tight, enclosed branches. Something big.
The moment I hear it, like power walking the forest. Wico says in the chat.
Oh, hi, Wiko. Wiko. We are indeed power walking the forest.
Yes. Yeah, just like Jacob's listening to if it picks up pace or if it seems like it gets slightly closer. Like he's focusing his ears on it.
Okay, you're looking for that change in tempo
Yeah,
or rate. Okay,
any change, yeah.
it seems fairly. It seems to be keeping pace with you almost.
If it sounds consistent, then we'll stay consistent. But
Okay. You hear from in front of you, to the right, off in the forest. You
it's
scan
like
with your
opposite
lights.
direction, right?
Yeah, you scan with your lights. You don't see anything. You're cresting towards the top of a hill. The path is going up. It's fairly steep. You're making your way. The same noise, the same occasional coming from off to your right. Low guttural noise, crashing. It's picking up pace now.
Alright,
We're
pick
being
up-
chased now, are we?
Is that what Devon says?
it
Just like,
sounds like it.
out of annoyance.
We're being
And Harry
chased
stays
now,
going,
aren't we?
oh, right, I guess we're being
This is
chased.
great.
Right.
We're being chased now. That's amazing. That's just what I wanted.
Fucking.
Not a single
Fucking
day of
amazing,
peace.
Can I see anything yet?
Actually, can I get a perception of everyone, please?
Okay.
I was about to ask for one anyway.
Come on.
You've been
Come on.
doing pretty good with your rolls.
Okay.
Okay, we got
Still okay.
a 16, 6,
I'm
and a
consistently
14.
bad on my perception roll.
Angus, so despite your enhanced ability to see in the dark, you can't make out anything either side of the road. You like have tunnel vision. You just see the road. You hear this
Make sure you
crashing
update in
these
the chat, by the way.
noises.
Like on the stream.
Oh, on the stream, yeah. You're hearing the crash. You're hearing the noises, but you don't see anything. What did you get there? Deslin 14. Okay, so your attention is drawn to the second noise that you're hearing off on the right side of the forest. You pivot, you turn your lantern. Again, that splash of shadows being cast out in an arc. You don't make out anything, but there's no reflection, there's no sign of anything actually being there. Nothing moving towards you, and it's not the noise of something large, it's just the call. Jacob. My poor
I'll
sweet...
be honest, the call is the creepy part.
my poor sweet innocent Jacob. You are cresting this hill. You're going fast. You hear this change in tempo. You hear the speed pick up as this, whatever it is just barging through the forest. Coming from your right, in front of you. Behind you, this tunneling noise. It's faster. Do you pick up your pace?
Yeah, something is calling it. I don't know what it is. And yeah, Jacob's just gonna start running up the hill. Like, he's gonna try and, because he is faster than the group, but he's gonna match their pace. Like,
Okay,
he's
right.
gonna like try and push them. Like, come on. Like,
You're just cresting the top of this hill. In front of you, you see a break in the forest, the end of the forest road. In the distance, a few twinkling lights of Rhyll, the settlement that you're heading to, the tower lit in the middle. You look over your left shoulder, and you see a wide shape, wider than any shape that has consistency and form should be. It seems to blanket behind it like a billowing cape. But in the middle, all you see charging through, crushing trees as if they're nothing, are antlers and the bone-white skull of a deer.
oh,
Oh, god damn it. I don't know what this is in D&D context, but IOL, it's terrifying.
You're at the top of the hill. You realise Calbor has fallen behind.
fuck.
You're speedy. Grab him.
Wait, I don't. Do I see him? I see him, right?
You see him. He's not far. He's 10 feet or so. He's reaching out to you. There's desperation in his eyes. His coat, everything is just not in tatters, but dishevelled. Not how you've ever seen him before. Genuine fear on his face. Worse than when you face the shadows. Worse than when you met with Ursh and Brick. He's rambling to himself. You can still hear him saying, "Almost there, almost there." He's I don't know who he's trying to convince, but he's doing a good job.
Alright. I'm like patting the others two backs, like keep running, like slap their backs almost, and I'm like running right back, and I'm gonna. How strong am I? I forget. Okay, I mean, I'm gonna try and sort of. Okay. I'm gonna try and pick him up. In a way that, like, you know, put his arm around me, and then, you know, like in a way that he kind of holds on to me, and I kind of pick him up and like try and carry him, right, and leg it.
Okay. Can I get a I think that's going to be a dex check, please, actually.
X?
Yeah. So
Alright,
how I'm imagining you doing it. You're basically running up, skidding, getting your arm round him. And it's more so the smooth movement of the motion that will determine success rather than your actual ability to pick up a little gnome dude. Which
Tell you what,
we know he can be picked up. You've done it before. he hasn't been happy.
tell you what,
about
I'm not taking any chances. I'm using my inspiration for this.
it. Ah, very good.
Okay.
I'm not taking any chances.
Ooh, good thing
Good.
you did. So
Good thing I did.
7 and 17. Very nice. Yeah, it's exactly. You run up. You almost skid to a stop. You almost go past him because you're going downhill. You grab him. You hear the same trumpeting noise coming from behind you. The crashing's getting louder. It's getting closer. Coming from the right-hand side. You get him. You feel this soft, clammy with sweat form of your kind of friend, Calbor. And you hoist him. You hoist him with a strength that you just wouldn't have expected you could have when you're so fatigued and tired and just you don't want to be here. And you get back up that hill. You get up there and you can hear it close behind you. So close.
At this point, I'm not even looking back. I'm just I'm sprinting as fast as I can, holding him.
Do any of the other two look back?
Briefly, when Jacob changes direction.
Okay, you see that Calbor is with is with Jacob now. They're nearly to you, and you get your first sight, Devon, of what it is that's following you. A massive form seems to absorb light as it moves through the forest, and these large, wide antlers, and again, this obviously skull of a deer. But it's big. It's big and it's fast. And you question for a second if they're going to make it, but somehow Jacob's just full pelt. He's up over the hill. He's caught up with you. He's almost going ahead of you. You pick up again. You're all running, all three of you. You can see the end of the forest. You hear the noise slow down. You hear the noise get quieter. You hear the... And then another one on the left-hand side this time, answering back.
The call.
There's at least two now.
What the hell was that?
You're at the edge of the forest. Your hearts are just pounding. Sound... deafening out. Covering out the sounds of... that return to you as you leave. There's bird song. You hear an owl. You hear a fox off in the distance doing its creepy cry. But it doesn't bother you. You're in the moonlight at the foot of these enormous trees. And as you look back down this path that you've just covered in incredible speed these last few 100 feet, you see the same figure that you saw in the water.
Oh.
Except you're sure it looks like an old woman.
Oh, you fucking creepy bastard.
Never trust an old lady.
And on that, I think it might be a good time to end the session.
I got shivers at the end then.
But tag out the old lady.
Oh,
Yeah.
God.
Oh,
Oh, man. Good.
My objective of giving Carl a nervous breakdown continues.
Yeah, you're very good
You're
at
doing a
it.
good job.
Yeah, it's proper creepy.
I have to say, I know I was reluctant to add in the music, but I'm glad we added in the music.
Oh yeah, it's
Yeah, it has been keeping me on
Yeah.
edge.
Yeah.
Oh, we got a comment from Wiko. This is just
Yeah.
wonderful. Love your voices. Audio quality is super nice. And the atmosphere. Oh, thank you. That's really kind of you. Yeah, we
Very
do this
nice.
every Tuesday. So, by all means, if you're inclined, follow and come and join us next time, when we'll see what happens when the party gets to their destination of Rhyll that they've been trying to reach for the last few sessions.
8 p.m. UK time.
8 p.m. UK time.
Ish.
Ish. All being well. Yeah, well done, everyone. We will conclude for the evening. And then we'll pick up next week and find out if I can convince you to go back into the forest.
Oh.
to reiterate Devin's point. How does anyone get anywhere?
Yeah.
Well, I
Oh.
mean,
Oh, this is doable. Yeah, come join us next week. It'll be fun. You
Yeah.
can see Carl die of
Yes.
anxiousness.
various things. Yes,
Really enjoyed.
and we'll see what the famed wizard of Rhyll has to say about your recent adventures when we meet Felric himself. But for anyone who's still listening, including Wiko, who's been very kind with his comments, have a wonderful evening, and I look forward to probably not scaring you, but otherwise eliciting some emotion from you next week.
Arousal, maybe.
Thank you, Michael.
Hopefully. Bye, everyone.
Bye, guys.
Bye.
Thanks for watching.
Bye. TPKs are allowed. Bye.
Mm-hmm.